Hello, stream.
Hello.
Oh, Tom is very loud. Let me turn him down.
I can hear myself. Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, maybe that should be better.
For a second, I got really confused, and then I
How's it
realized
going,
that I
guys?
didn't have the thing muted, and I was like, "Why isn't that?"
Yeah, I didn't have the thing you mute either. First off, hi everyone. Hope you're doing well. Second off, there's something weird on my neck and I might die. Third off, we're going to make Katie watch the grapefruit technique video because she hasn't watched it yet. So if you don't know what that is,
Welcome to
Now,
knowledge.
this is the interactive part of the show.
you get to take part. You get to watch it with us. Hi Nate. Hi
Oh,
Adam. Hi
God's
Snort.
sake. Hey Nathan.
Hi
guys.
Greta. How's it going, everybody?
Not the great.
Oh, God's sake! So, I mean, I guess you don't have to put it on stream if you don't want to put it on stream.
No, I won't load it up. You know, just in case people don't really, are offended by
Hi,
it.
Adam. Why does everybody know what this has to be? Okay, where's the link?
Offended by it.
Offended? Yeah, you never know.
You mean,
Show
no, they
everybody.
might learn something.
You're going to have a very low view count because everyone's going to be off buying grapefruits.
I want to know if Greta knows what this is. Greta, if you're still in chat, do you know what the grapefruit technique video is? Oh, you poor innocent soul. No idea. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
do I have to bring it up?
You and me, Greta.
I feel like you should.
Oh dear.
Are you
Can
gonna
I
put it
get
on the
banned for this?
stream? Surely not. People watch that kind of stuff all the time. In the privacy of their own bedroom, mostly, but
Or in the supermarket when deciding on
in the supermarket.
Well, how else do you know which type to buy?
I'm trying to make myself look a little less washed out, a little less terms of service. Stream is still 18 plus. Yeah, it's on YouTube. People watch YouTube stuff all the time.
Okay, where's the link? Where do I click on? Or are
I
you
think
gonna put
Jenny's
it up?
gonna do it.
Okay.
Should
think
I
it's great.
click on grapefruit technique 3 minutes 39 or grapefruit technique re-uploaded 35 seconds? Which one would we prefer?
Wait,
be
shall
the
I
20-minute
check
one for the
it? Shall I
fact,
check
sure.
it?
Yeah, check the 35-second one. Or we could watch the Guitar Hero
Guitar
version.
Hero version.
Did you not see that, Dogs?
No.
Someone did it on Guitar Hero. Because, why not at this point?
Well, they played the song.
Yeah. Like, merge the song with Guitar Hero. Is the 35-second one okay?
Alright, the 35-second one's fine.
Okay.
You might need to explain, the run-up.
The run-up?
Yeah, so she goes pretty much straight into it.
So just clip the important bit out.
It's got rid of all of the run-up.
So if that's why if that's why they had to re-upload and edit that out, I would suggest not playing the original on stream.
I forgot how, graphic it was.
Okay, yeah, it was a lot more graphic than I thought it was.
That's enough of that! No more! Oh no! Blacklight attacks again. Hi, Blacklight, how you doing? Some people hadn't heard of the grapefruit technique, so
People needed to be enlightened.
we watched about 5 seconds of that before I was like...
I love that.
Well, now I just want to know where the grapefruit comes into play.
The
Just watch the
grapefruit's
3-minute
on the
ones.
dick.
What?
There was
Do
a
you-
big hole cut in the.
Yeah.
Not that I kind of figured, but I just
Don't spoil the
You have to
grapefruit.
watch it mostly just for the audio because the audio.
It's the audio that makes it. No
So
one
I-
gives a fuck about the
I
grapefruit.
just searched the
Face
grapefruit
boosted.
technique and it will come up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So she said.
there's
People
a
need to know.
bass. There's a bass boosted version.
Oh my god.
I forgot how really intense that sound was, so glad I turned it off immediately. Sorry.
So yeah. For your partners out there.
Every man should get grapefruited.
I think every man should be- You haven't lived unless you've been grapefruit.
Why is this stream like this?
Listen.
I think it's important that everybody should watch that video.
Hey Wills, how you doing? You just missed out on some education.
Yes.
That maybe it's a good idea you missed out on, really, but...
Can I link it in chat?
Yeah, link it in chat, sure.
Why is this stream like this?
We've been asking ourselves that for
This is
2
it in
years.
full.
In full,
Full
the whole
detail.
3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I get enough of that in my day job. First off, subscription.
Thank you for subscribing, Wills. Also, I think it's a different kind of education than you would
Very
get in your
different
day
kind of
job.
education. If you're showing this in your day job, Wells, you will get fired.
I guess it depends what kind of, education you bring into the world. Is it rude?
Is it rude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
I
is,
don't
yeah.
do rude. Oh, bless you. Yeah.
Don't watch that then.
Not safe for work, yeah.
Yes, it is not.
But it is an education.
It's educational, but it's not. Yeah, it is loud. Yeah. It's possibly not your kind of content, Wills. It's like those dick dress-up pics. I'd forgotten about
I'd
this.
forgotten about that. Or the shrimps. Oh god, why is the stream like this? Why have we got so many things that have been...
Okay.
What was the
Welcome,
dick dress-up
everybody.
pics called? I can't remember. Do you remember what it was called? I don't remember what it was. What was that?
Is it the dicks with hats or whatever?
It was in... Yeah, they were like dressed up as people. Can't remember what it was called.
2 words. Erotica. Listen, there's been several episodes now
Since
At
it's
least.
been mentioned.
since I worked that into gameplay. Dicture.
Is it Dicture?
Is Casey okay? She's
don't-
very quiet. She's just...
Is she
I'm like-
watching the
enjoying
3-minute version of the grapefruit thing?
Are you watching the whole thing?
I was watching the intro, but I first there were a whole bunch of like not real ones that had been uploaded. They were all messed up.
I forgot how loud that was.
Let's see. It's a shock, isn't it, to the system every time?
It's just the noise.
I just...
That is so loud. I couldn't hear it earlier.
Yeah,
I just really like how confident she is.
yeah.
Like she knows her stuff about using grapefruits on dicks.
She's done it many a time. Not one complaint, ever. She showed us the world.
It's because she's so terrifying. No guy's ever had a chance to be like,
I would never tell anyone else about it. A secret held to them for the rest of life.
that is
No,
incredible.
remember, grapefruit is a fat burner.
Oh,
Wow.
see,
Education.
education.
I just like at that point, that is so much effort that you have hands. Like what?
You have... but can you make that noise at the same time?
I think you know what? I don't think you need to. I think that's
I think
like
that's part of the visceral experience.
Visceral experience.
I'm sure that some people are into that. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum or anything, but
It's a bit like when you turn on a vacuum cleaner and it gets stuck on the carpet.
yeah, a little bit.
Sexy. Oh boy.
I can never finish the vacuum cleaning without a massive hard on.
It's been a long time since we made a lot of sex jokes, but today's the day. Bring them all back.
Oh my god, we haven't even started. We haven't even started. Do you remember episode 69?
Episode 69 was a vow to not make any sex jokes, but episode 80.
Done that day, we got so much done. It was nuts how much.
I think we should just turn the stream off and then come back in like 2 minutes time or less and just pretend
Yeah.
none of this has happened.
It's
Be like,
just-
hello, welcome
Hello,
to D&D."
welcome to
Okay,
D&D.
no, we're gonna do it. 3, 2.
No, wait. Did you see Adam's comment first? This is where we make manscaping jokes.
Boom. Why are you all laughing? Hi, Boom. What are you
2
talking about?
words. grapefruit technique.
Grapefruit technique.
That's where it began. If you missed out, well, you missed out forever.
I was showing my mum your stream. Oops, I'm so sorry, Willis.
I'm not sure that not seeing it was missing out. Really. First day.
Okay, right. We're resetting in 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode
80.
Fuck off! Is it episode 80?
It's episode 80.
Oh my god, episode 80 of Daerd Isle. On this week's episode, we have a rumble in the jungle, and someone's long lost love returns from a faraway land, and also a cliffhanger. I don't know, I'm just chatting shit. We'll see what happens. You know, it's a wacky.
There's going to be a cliffhanger.
I think we need to take 3.
We should switch the topic. But yes, this is. Oh, I can't believe it's episode 80. That's insane. We are going to start the game rather than talking about irrelevant topics. Last week, I looked like a 12-year-old boy. What the fuck is going on here?
Was that last week?
Put yourself together, Tom. Become a man. Or become a person, at least. Anyway.
Are you going to slip into the coursing river?
Anyway, so last week, we had a full 3-hour session where lots happened, and yet nothing happened.
Yes. Just like many of our sessions.
Yeah.
Last session, we had another Hyacinth existential crisis moment. Yeah, where Hyacinth departed with a mission to find her dad, essentially, who is waltzing around. You know, he's doing his do, and you wanted to find him because you'd made an agreement with Varkis that you would borrow him for the day, without saying that he was your dad, but you would borrow him for the day because he is a
Mason.
He's a Mason, and you wanted to borrow their Mason. He was like, "Yeah, sure, no probs. Just chat to Soph, because she's the quartermaster." So off you went on your own, whilst the other guys spent some time elsewhere. Met Soph. Soph said, "Yeah, you got to chat with my boy Daerd, because Daerd is the kind of the head of the kind of sappers group, and our Mason is within that group." So you went to go chat to Daerd, and he was a prick.
Yeah.
He was very rude, and he did not get along with you.
Anyone.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your theory is that it might have somewhat been influenced by the fact that Dane was there, and Daerd, the gentleman you were meeting with, is a Draugr or whatever we decided he was called, which is basically an underdark dwarf, the kind of evil compatriots of dwarves. In any case, the other guys decided to go for a bit of a wander, have a look around the grounds, make sure everything was shored up and okay. And you met on top of the keep our boy Varkis. Varkis had his telescope out, and he was eyeing something in the sky. He gave you an opportunity to have a little look through the telescope, and with your elven eyes, Susan noticed a great flying feathered snake beast in the sky. This was what Varkis described as a tempest, a otherworldly entity that is this beautiful phenomenon who they're largely not necessarily violent, and they kind of just do their own thing. As you kind of observed it, it came a little bit closer, and you got a chance to really revel in its beauty. As you were doing so, Varkis cast a spell that revealed a small hole in the ground that seemed to be some kind of extra-dimensional pocket. He pulled out some painting materials and started painting an image of the Tempest. Meanwhile, you decided to join in, using your fancy materials that you were given as part of our Yuletide celebrations by Hyacinth. Hyacinth gave you these paints that, when you paint something, it turns into a small figurine. In your experience with these paints, you have made lots of little figurines, mostly of dwarves, to kind of honor
Commemorate.
those that have fallen. Yeah, commemorate. Yes, I like that. Commemorate the fallen dwarves that died in the defense of geese.
Yes.
And you'd managed to make a couple of them. Whilst making the one of the Tempest, you realized that actually it wasn't becoming a little figurine, it came alive. A small little Tempest arrived and kind of started playing around you and having a fun little time. And we called it a Danger Noodle. Danger Noodle 1. The original.
The OG.
DN1. And you had this lovely little Danger Noodle experience. Then you made a second little sculpture because you used the same thing, this magical tool, and rather than creating a live Danger Noodle, little Babby Tempest, it just made a normal little structure, a little figurine. You realized after discussing this at length with the sage, meeting's been upgraded, bitches. You realize after discussing this with the sage that perhaps there was some kind of magic at play that was because of the storm that you are currently underneath, the storm that has been having some influence on magic. You realize that there is a roughly 30-30-30 split on where this magic falls. Will the spell act normally? Will it peter out and do nothing? Or will it do something very abnormal? In this case, the very abnormal thing was instead of making a small figure, it made a live Babby Tempest. Mm-hmm. In any case, you then went on a bit of a rampage, making lots of Babby Tempests after Hyacinth had some problems with her usual persuasive masterminding technique. Because she, after trying to talk to Dantir and say, yo, let me see my pops, without making it that clear, and he was being an arsehole and required, 50 gold or something, and you didn't want to stoop to his level. You went to talk to Varkis, and Varkis was kind of like, it's not my area, dude. I
don't control my team. They do this.
Yes, there was a disagreement in philosophy when it comes to leading teams. Basically, Hyacinth's reaction was, what the fuck, when Varkis said, I tend to leave my team leaders to do their own thing, and if he's not gonna give you, I don't want to go over his head, sort of thing.
Yeah, I have skilled people. You should totally take advantage of that. We can make a trade. Okay, cool. But no, not really. Like, if their leader doesn't feel like it, who am I as the captain to step in and keep my, sort of like promisey word stuff.
Promisey word stuff. Yeah.
He didn't promise that they would help, but he was like, that would be a really fortuitous situation. We should do that. But I'm not going to enforce that statement of goodwill.
Yes, so Hyacinth was quite bitter about that.
Did he also say it would be free then?
What'd you say?
Did he also say it would be free?
The thing is, I think the way he phrased it was like, oh yes, we have many skilled laborers and perhaps we can help each other out. So then obviously price gouging, because a day's wages for a skilled laborer are what, a month for a gold, or maybe a gold a day or something. And so it's it's exorbitant beyond belief. Yeah. And doesn't want to, oh yeah, sure, no problem, because either they know or they'll think that they're vastly wealthy, and either of them puts us in a disadvantaged situation where it looks like we so desperately need it that we're willing to pay 50 or more times what the going rate is for someone's labor. And not at all still bitter. Absolutely not.
Not at all still bitter. So the end of that was essentially Hyacinth having a bit of a breakdown because all of her usual wit and charm wasn't cutting it.
Didn't even feel like it took hold. She just didn't even really have the opportunity. Mm-hmm. That's her perspective. It's
but also you tried to cast a spell to like feather fall off of the top of the keep, and that fizzled.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a lot of kind of obstacles. There's a lot of obstacles. It wasn't a good day for Hyacinth.
Well, and especially leading up to that too, like the whole like once we found out that it's like basically like a 1 in 3rd chance of okay, better or nothing, and she consistently is getting like okay or nothing. And meanwhile, it's like Susan's making little creatures and Daerd is banishing entire hordes of an army. It's like maybe it's not random. Maybe like I was brought here and on purpose and being dampened. Like what is going on?
So she's she's definitely not feeling her usual confident self. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we start today's session with a fresh perspective. You guys have many danger noodles. You made too many danger noodles. Everyone's got danger noodles. These little tempestuous, fluffy snakes. One of them is nestled in Dane's beard, just kind of poking out. The others a bit apparently in Jebediah. The others are apparently hidden away in Susan's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have had a bit of a discussion in the RP channel over on the Discord. Does anyone want to kind of summarize that for the stream? I don't ask difficult questions.
Summarize this big thing. What are we talking about? I mean, basically the same type of stuff, really. Whether we trusted Varkas or not. What was happening with the magic? Susan was a little bit upset about wanting everyone to be happy, but everyone wasn't happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hyacinth continued having a breakdown.
All the while, Casimir is currently off practicing. He's having a little bit of a training day, keeping his skills honed. And Susan has a date with Buff arranged for later that evening.
Oh boy.
And at the end, basically, Hyacinth is like, well, you guys said he seems like a nice guy, and I obviously cannot look at this with a like purely objective viewpoint. So what if we were to trade one of these danger noodles for information or blah 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 or for goodwill, etc., etc.
Yeah, so the end point was basically, do we trust Varkas? We're not sure. Hyacinth can't make the call really because she's a little bit too close to the situation. And the reason that Hyacinth is struggling to trust this man is because he is the captain of a ship or a crew that apparently has some kind of power or control over the freedom of your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
because he knows who I am. He acknowledged when so not only does he have that, like, do they own slaves or magically like dampen someone's free will, but he is familiar with me or my situation in some capacity, and he's acting like he's just some dude, like something is going on.
Yeah, so it definitely there are lots of reasons that Hyacinth wouldn't trust this man. However, you have had multiple opportunities to talk with him about business and pleasure and hang out with him, and so far he seems nothing but quite pleasant, relatively reasonable. Whether or not you disagree with leadership techniques is somewhat beyond the point, but I can understand being upset with that. Oodles of doodles of danger noodles. I love that. But in any case, the rest of you are largely on Team Hyacinth, with the outlook that he seems okay, but I mean, Hyacinth's on the team, we're behind Hyacinth.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the gist?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, would you like to briefly summarize how each of you feel about Varkas? Varkas Septifine, the leader of the Wayward.
Well, I said this in the RP like an hour before we started or something. that Susan doesn't really trust anyone at the moment that isn't like our pie and the people we've known for a very long time, and even them could be corrupted at any given moment. So it's like kind of lost cause on everyone. So she doesn't trust this dude, but like if they were going to do something, perhaps they would have done it already. So maybe they're not too dangerous, but she doesn't trust him completely regardless, but you know.
Okay. All right. How about Dane?
So he seems really civil, like he's got all the right pleasantries and manners, etc. But there always feels like there's something that he's not quite telling us or not quite saying. Like when we was talking about his adventures and stuff, you'd have thought he had loads of tales of wonder and stuff, and he didn't have that many, and they didn't have a very good explanation for like what they were doing and why they appeared here, and he seems very nonchalant about the whole situation, so it's a bit
Sure. Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got a very good point there. He's basically turned up with his crew in a flying ship, and seems like it's pretty normal, pretty average day for him. Which obviously you guys have never seen a flying ship before, so this is pretty fucking bananas. But also the fact that his flying ship also travels between the planes, and that's normal and okay, seems a bit strange. Right? Okay, how about Hyacinth?
I mean,
It's pretty, I feel like it's pretty clear cut that she's not a big fan.
On top of everything else, like personally, her other big worry is that this is basically a apparently highly powered, skilled, and resourceful team of mercenaries who's on their doorstep of commoners. And there are 3 of them.
Yeah. Okay. So let's begin today's session. At the end of the last session, essentially we had Hyacinth, Dane, and Susan at the doorstep of the keep, just covered in danger noodles.
Yep.
I think we're in the back, because I had like gone down the staircase and walked around the like rear of the.
These guys had come out the front. You'd gone for a walk, and by the time you looped around, you'd met them again at the front. Because you said you're basically going for a bit of a stompy.
I was planning on staying in the back, so I assumed.
Oh, were you? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Because all of them are in the front, and she's like not in the mood. Currently.
Okay. My understanding was that you wanted to go for a bit of a stroppy walk, not that you were leaving.
Yeah. No, like.
That's fine. If that's the deal, that's the deal. That's okay.
Pacing back and forth in the back.
Yeah. No worries. Okay. Well, in which case, you guys have found her pacing around in the back of Geese. And you've had your bit of a chat. You've discussed that basically, you're not 100% sure about Varkas. You've got loads of danger noodles. What's the plan?
Overrun the island with danger noodles.
Love it.
Win them with cuteness.
Certainly Von Karstein can't deny even that.
And then he'll be weak.
Perfect.
So my understanding from the Discord RP was that you're essentially saying, what do you want to do, Hyacinth?
Yeah, pretty much the ball is in your court. What would you prefer to do?
I don't know that any plan I could make or deal I could forge at the moment would be in good conscience. The upper hand I typically have is that in any deal I've ever made, I've not had much of a personal stake other than wanting to be successful. And this is completely different. And in fact is incredibly personal. I'm not confident in any of my skills at the moment. Least of all, my ability to assess the situation accurately. And I'm a bit headstrong in most cases. I'm not sure that I should be making any decisions. If I could choose an endpoint, it would be to figure out what their operation is about and why they suppress people's free will. Determine whether it's like slavery or if somebody is accepting a high cost for a payoff of some kind. Because if this is an agreement entered into willingly and knowingly, then there's a deal is a deal. Might be a bad deal, but it is one. But if people are being subversively tricked into this, then I don't think we have necessarily the manpower to stop them, but I would like to send my father home. So it seems that the first step would be to find out how they gather their workforce.
Yeah. How do we do that?
I don't think he'll tell us willingly. I thought maybe offering one of the pets might be enough of a trade, since you said he was so infatuated. But as I mentioned, I don't want to. If he is just a businessman with perhaps a moral fiber that is lower than what I would prefer, but is not a cruel person, then I wouldn't put a creature in danger, since as far as I can tell, these are creatures with feeling. But I don't want to do that if he would treat the thing poorly. And that is an assessment I definitely cannot make.
It did sound as though he had come across them before and not treated them poorly, but then they are also significantly larger.
I think he would have been afraid to engage a real, natural, full-sized one. I don't know what the appropriate term would be there.
Not an elven mothered.
What's a huge danger noodle's name?
A tempest.
Yep, right.
I was going for like hoodle.
Ooh, a hoodle.
A hoodle.
A huge.
First thought. Yeah, a hoodle. Hoodoodle. Hoodoodle. Noodle. Danger oodle.
A huge hoodle.
Too much.
Oodles of danger noodle. So what are you thinking about, team? What's the plan of action?
These aren't her creatures, and so she's basically putting it to them that are like, are you willing to part with one of these if you think that he's not going to put it in harm's way in order to convince him to tell us what they're about?
Do you think he would actually tell us, though, or would he just keep lying if he's already lied this much?
I am not as confident in my capacity to read a person as you two have repeatedly been able to. It's amazing the information that you can glean from someone by talking to them. I wish I had that skill. It would make a lot of my average dealings much easier.
I mean, we could try. It might feel a bit weird that we're like, tell us about your things. Tell us about your business. And we'll give you something in return. And it's a tiny danger noodle.
The two ways we could phrase that would be, in order to feel comfortable with having you on our lawn, essentially, since you have the capacity to be an invading force and to subvert this haven that we've created for the people here, we need to know about what you do, because we've witnessed people's will being suppressed, and we're curious as this is something that doesn't sit well with us. Or we can be honest and add the additional layer to that. I prefer not to approach it with that route.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's time to be completely truthful just yet.
Yeah, honesty's for suckers.
Yeah.
We're not being dishonest with the first approach. We're just not disclosing we're not putting all our cards on the table. It's gin rummy instead of rummy.
Nick the Geek, thank you for the follow. It's down.
Nick the Geek.
Nick the
That's a
Geek.
great name.
It's down to you.
Go ahead. Down to me.
Mhm.
Do either of you have the ability to ensure that someone cannot lie?
Well, I mean, I would have done if I would have known this was happening. Could took Zone of Truth, but
I mean, I could gain that ability. I remember seeing it in one of my tomes at some point.
How long would it take you to study the power spell?
No longer than an hour. Would you believe?
I prefer we not immediately turn around and speak with him again anyway. We can walk the grounds. Susan and I can while you prepare. And in doing so, use that as an excuse to come back to him and say that we've overheard or witnessed this. And at this juncture, we need to know more about how they work.
Would it not be slightly obvious to a spellcaster such as himself, converse with magic, that they are under the influence of a spell?
Oh, of course, but we can tell him that. We won't tolerate lies, and we're willing to trade something that it seems he desires for the information, but we're not willing to chance him being false, and then he can choose whether or not he would like to. Or if you would prefer not to do that, then we can rely on your ability to assess. I'm confident in that. But
with everything that's going on at the moment, it feels like that might not be a good idea.
I feel like that bit of honesty, of course, would show a little bit of good faith.
True.
Just make sure that the rest of us are out of it when you cast it, however it works.
It's an area.
Yeah.
So are we Zone of Truthing him or not?
The idea will be to, once it's prepared, approach him and explain that we aren't confident in them being forthright, or that we've seen these things that don't sit well with us, and we would like to learn more about their operations so that we can be confident that they are not slavers, essentially, and that in doing so we're willing to trade information of, something for the information about his operation, but one stipulation is that we ensure he cannot lie. He can simply choose not to answer, but we will know. And so by not disclosing, the deal will be null, but he's not able to lie to us.
Sounds like a good plan. I will begin studying.
Taking your time to prepare the spell?
Mm-hmm. I go off to my room.
I don't want you to be by yourself. I'm worried about them. Should we find Casimir and have him stay with you?
Sure.
Or at least outside, if you need to be by yourself entirely.
No, I don't. I need to have a little bit of space and some quiet.
So then we'll go fetch Casimir and tell him to make sure that Dane is unaccosted.
Okay. Says, okay, little friend, I will look after you.
Thank you.
Hi, time.
Hi, Time.
Hi, Time. Hi, Waddle. Zone of Truth, motherfuckers.
Time
Can't
can't possibly
possibly fail. We will know, though, if it fails. Is the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything
Maybe
is
Time will be here for Dante's reappraisal.
You mean when I kill him?
Poor boy.
Can't just respond to people you don't like by murdering them, Katie.
That's pretty much how this
If I
campaign's going to
find out he's a slaver.
Okay.
Oh, then we can own we could take the ship, because I bet that's how the ownership works. You slay the current owner, then you get to be the new owner.
It's like Davy Jones. You just become
I want a flying ship.
SS Friendship.
Oh.
You could rename it. Rather be like, yes, we have this incredible vessel named the Wayward. You'd be like, No.
Danger noodle.
It's going to be
All one here.
noodle ship. Full of danger noodles. It's going to be lots of danger noodles. You could totally try to just kill those you don't agree with, yeah, but you make a lot
He's
of
already
money.
proven to us he's not that great of a person. So, I mean, like, if he puts me in a position where it's like save somebody who could potentially be innocent and kill him, then I'm really just not going to cry about that decision at night. Chaotic good. Am I chaotic good? I might even be chaotic neutral. So, I mean, I don't think you can really be like a merchant and be chaotic good because you inherently have to exploit people.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's chaotic good. She's not fair.
Okay. So, is there anything that you'd like to do whilst Dane is preparing his spell, or shall we just...
I think that we're not doing anything. Like, we're going to like walk the grounds, Susan and I, and kind of like observe them and like the market and like look like we're just kind of surveying and taking like a rest day, I guess. You know, carrying out duties that we need to as owners, incumbents, occupants of this place.
Sure.
And then that's going to be we've returned and we have questions because we've, been witnessing questionable activity or whatever. So we don't need to like RP it, I don't think, because we're just going to be like walking around. But if we would see anything, I guess, then that we might need to do that because we're going to be like watching them and circling.
Sure. Right, well, you start to do the rounds. Dane, whilst you are preparing your spells, you hear somewhat of a rumble in the background that sounds a bit like Casimir's voice. He appears to be talking to a couple of dwarves. There are 3 dwarves in total. And you recognize them in your periphery as some of your clansmen, your newfound clansmen, your people, essentially.
What's left of them?
In any case, they are there. There are more than just like 3 or 4 dwarves. There are more. It's just these are the ones that have shown up right now.
Most of them.
I didn't murder them. The bad guys murdered them under my control. Anyway, it appears that they want your attention and they're trying to talk to you, but Casimir's obviously stepping in and saying to give you some alone time. And you can kind of hear over. I mean, you're concentrating, and he's kind of you're a little bit away, and you can hear Casimir kind of say, "He has asked not to be disturbed," and they say, "Well, I'm not listening to you. Who are you to tell me what to do? I want to talk to my king."
I'll like come back from the place where I'm studying the mantras needed for these. Like it's okay, Casimir. I'll take this audience now.
There you are.
Oh, bitch.
That's right. You give us some space. Listen to our king. He doesn't leave his people alone. We'll see you later. Casimir just kind of steps aside and just continues just watching. He doesn't leave. So did you say you were outside or inside in your room?
I think outside. I don't know. I'll be in my room. Okay.
Also in your room. Okay, so he's kind of come to the door, and then Casimir's been like, "Bugger off," and they've been like, "No," and then you've overheard and said, "Let's have a chat." So Casimir kind of opens the door, allows these dwarves in, and closes the door again. He kind of stands there, and they kind of look at him, but he just kind of he's clearly not leaving anywhere unless you tell him to.
He's okay. Like, how can I help you?
There's been a grave happening. I think you should see this. I'd like to say, as we're a new clan, obviously we've got our own cultural norms. Maybe we're a new family. We've got our own things on the horizon. I'm excited. We're all excited, aren't we, lads? We're very excited about what's to come. I know you got your stuff on your plate right now, but for now, I think it's very important that you have a hand in this. No, Johnny, come forward. And kind of this older dwarf kind of steps forward. And you notice that he's very, he seems quite shy and embarrassed. And he was kind of hiding behind the other two dwarves. And he steps forward, and his beard has been cut. It's very, very clear that it's been cut straight with a blade.
His name was Johnny, right?
Yes.
Oh, Johnny, what has happened?
Well, I'm not. My beard was cut.
Against your will, I assume.
I woke up and it was like this. It's that bastard Dante, he did it to me. We had an argument and he cut my beard. I'm angry! King Dane, I'm so angry. I don't know how to feel about it.
I am angry on your behalf, Johnny. This is not acceptable.
These are angry tears, just to make that clear. Very angry tears.
Okay. I pat him on the shoulder, just like, I understand. I get angry tears too sometimes.
It's annoying, but it happens.
Makes it hard to hit things with your axe, right?
It makes it really hard to look angry, but I'm very angry. Yes. I had an argument with that Dante fella in the mess hall last night. We were drinking and things got a bit heated.
Yes.
And I woke up like this. I think it was him, but I can't be sure, but I think it was him.
Where were you sleeping, Johnny?
I woke up in the mess hall. I might have had a wee too much to drink.
Every dwarf has been in that situation.
I think you can agree that that's a vulnerable place for a dwarf.
Absolutely.
I mean, my beard of all things.
Yeah, but like...
Throw on my face or something, fine.
But they knew that would be the thing.
What do I do, King? King Dane.
Well, you leave this with me, Johnny, and I'll sort this out. This is unacceptable behaviour in Geese.
Aye.
We are one big happy family here.
Aye.
Now,
thank you, King.
I suggest you find a tailor, and as much as it's going to pain you, get them, or not tailor, barber, wrong one, and just get them to neaten that out a little bit so it doesn't look cut anymore.
Aye.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'll see maybe one of the other dwarves will have a bit of a go at it. Thank you, Dane. We appreciate your time.
I'm very sorry this happened to you. This is unacceptable behaviour.
Absolutely. And all of the others are kind of like, right, well, I'm glad.
And I will make sure that this does not happen again.
Wait, well, we know that people get heated, and I mean, we've said some things that maybe we shouldn't have said, representing the dwarven colonies. But I think maybe he took it a step too far.
Okay, I need to know exactly what's happened. They just started to treat them a little bit like children at this point. Like, right, you need to tell me the truth.
Oh well, King Dane. Our boy Johnny over here may have said a few things about borderline racism. To be perfectly honest, he's an old dwarf. You look at him; he's quite old. He's from another time, and I think we're all looking for a fresh start when we came to you to be our new king. I mean, we all shouted a wee couple of things. This Dante fellow was with some of his lads, but they kind of left it behind. We'd all had a little bit to drink, but Johnny, he took it a bit too far.
So what I'm hearing is that everyone took this too far.
I mean, Johnny might have said some things that he regrets now. I mean, we all certainly regret that he said such things. And I
only regret that because you're stood in front of me and Johnny's had his beard cut?
No, I mean it was very rude. We like to start afresh with our new king, new rules, and none of the old dwarven blood. It's not our problem.
There's enough evil to fight in the world already.
We who hates who is not our problem. We were cast out by everyone. We just want some place to be together and not to leave people to their hatred. And we're ashamed of Johnny, to be perfectly honest. And Johnny's like, hey.
Well, that probably means that Johnny's not going to do this again, is Johnny?
No.
Right.
No.
Right. Okay. I will speak to the others, but I'm probably going to expect you to both apologize to each other in a civil manner. I expect civil behavior in the mess hall, no matter how much ale is involved. Otherwise, ale privileges will be revoked.
And they're like,
look, if we're going to make this work, we got to be serious. If we want to be taken seriously,
a dwarven king saying no to ale. He's very serious. Well, if that's what you say, King Dane, I don't know if
I don't want it to come to that.
But you're the king.
No dwarf wants to come to that. But if it has to.
Well, he's angry though. We're all angry.
Yes. And that anger is what got you in here with a beard cut. That anger.
What do with that anger? He got his beard cut. What would you do if your beard was cut?
I know what I'd do if my beard was cut. And I would be doing what you were doing. But I'd hope that in my position, you would be doing what I'm doing. Just trying to be rational. Because we cannot have an all-out brawl in this tiny little place with all of these other people while there are demons falling literally from the sky.
Hey, you got a good point there. There are demons falling from the sky.
There are. So at times when demons are falling from the sky, having a little bit more patience with those that we don't normally get along with, go a long way for B.
All right, King Dane. I think you've made your point. I think you're a wise man. You're a wise man.
None of this behavior is acceptable though. Like this beard cutting is absolutely out. It's too far.
Out.
Far too far.
Yeah.
It's out. It's not in. It's out.
That's well.
That was last year.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing how you resolve this situation, honestly, because we want to see how you're our king now.
I will resolve the situation.
Well, are we excused? Can we leave you to your business?
Yes, thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Well, thank you, King Dane, for your time. Let's go, lads. And Johnny's like, I'm sorry, King Dane.
It's okay, Johnny.
All right, aye.
And
they all leave. Casimir's like, that is very stupid. It's just face fluff. All face fluff.
Okay. So this is probably missing from your book, but dwarves, we take our beards seriously. Right?
Oh.
This is a sign of wisdom.
Like scales. Like I take my scales very seriously.
Yes, exactly. Imagine if I have noticed. Now imagine if someone cut your scales off while you're sleeping.
Holy shit, that's my skin!
Exactly. That's what a dwarf feels like with his beard is cut.
Your beard is like skin?
Metaphorically, yes.
I see. Very well. Okay, well, perhaps you should get back to your business that is so important before dealing with the skin face thing. Very well. I will return. Shall I keep more dwarves away?
Yes, please.
Very well. I will
concentrate.
Close the door behind me.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's have a little bit of a summary. How's Dane feeling about this situation?
He's like exacerbated or exhausted. Just like, really, now is the time that we've got to do this. He thought that he could.
Katie's like, I get to murder him. I get to murder him dead. Look at that little face.
There's some interesting things before where because I was with Hyacinth when we were talking to him, right?
Uh-huh.
because he was like, "Oh, we're staying on an airship. We're not in your stuff. So why should we do anything for you?" But clearly, he's been in our mess hall drinking our ale with my dwarves, and then
with my dwarves,
physically accosting them.
Exactly.
That's assault.
I mean, there's no proof. He was asleep when his beard was cut.
All the proof we need.
All the proof we need. All right. Okay.
So yeah, he's like generally he was like, already. I don't have time for this.
Time. Dane looking stern down. What have we learned? The dwarf. Actions have consequences.
It's not chaotic evil. He's a slaver. Listen, lawful evil and lawful good are usually a matter of perspective. So I'm just saying. He's a slaver, and he physically assaults people in their sleep.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There is no proof, though. That's enough proof. Hyacinth is missing the exit to chaotic neutral and heading to a chaotic evil murder town. It's all right. She's chaotic good, so she's definitely missing a couple extra turnings there.
Hyacinth didn't say any of that. She's not there and doesn't know any of this. This was Katie.
That's true. That's true. Good point. Well played. All right. Casimir learns something new every day.
I was making a lot of like what Hyacinth would say in the worst case scenario comments in chat while you guys were talking. But Dane, stay strong. Beard's being cut as physical assault. Words can't hurt anyone unless the bard is speaking.
Brilliant. Okay. Listen, we were pissed, so we're going to oscillate between reason and irrationality. Excellent. Okay.
Oh no, Dawntear is dead. Doesn't even feign disappointment.
Right. So, does Dane finish his spell preparation?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, out of your room you go, off to meet, I assume, with Susan and Hyacinth, unless you have any other business you'd like to attend to first. Is that a thinking face? No? All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, in which case, you return to your party. Looking pixelated.
Yep.
And blurry.
I'm really far away, and then I get close.
Oh, that was a cool entrance.
Oh, I need to get my eyes checked. Oof.
I have a blur fade into the scene.
Oh, amazing. Does Dane rise to the DM bait, or does he keep doing what he was doing?
Did we see anything while we were walking and observing?
No, everything's peaceful as can be.
Okay.
Well,
I suppose from the sky.
I suppose you guys should know. So it would appear that last night some of the dwarves got a little too drunk and rowdy, and what's his face, the one we don't like and doesn't like me, he was there.
Dantier.
He was there. Dantier.
Oh.
I remember everything.
I'm so sorry about this, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Time, that Dane and Docs are just slaughtering your character's names. And I've definitely 100% stolen from you for a cameo that you clearly don't like because he's not Dantier. But it's too late now, so I'm committing.
So yeah, Gantier did all these terrible things.
Gantier. Plantier.
That's okay, it's just a stage name.
So yeah, there was a little bit of a ruckus apparently. I don't know whose fault it is, and I don't particularly care. I don't have a massive amount of time for this, but I'm going to have to go and speak to Dantier and see what's going on, especially considering he said he was staying on the ship and not coming into our stuff.
He was in the stronghold?
Quite well, according to my dwarves, and I do not know why they would lie to be their king.
Yes, king.
I can't imagine they would be so
I just love that qualifier. To me, they're king.
It's important. And one of them woke up with one of their beard cut. Poor Johnny. I know, right? It's just.
Casimir just goes, "Oh."
See.
He tries to feign surprise like everyone else.
It's okay, Casimir. You already knew.
You were there, weren't you, Casimir?
Oh, yes. I don't understand. Apparently, the beard is a very important thing for dwarves.
Yes.
This was not in my book.
No, it doesn't touch on everything, but yes. That's terrible.
Remember when we wanted to
It's
disguise
like their skin.
Do you remember when we wanted to disguise you, Casimir? And I said, what if we colored you, we put on makeup, we made ourselves look different. What if we turned you a different color, put makeup over your scales and you were objectively
my scales are beautiful. You would never touch my scales.
Well, it wasn't because they aren't pretty. We were just disguising ourselves.
No, they are beautiful.
Yes, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yes, of course.
Pretty,
but
they are magnificent. Honestly. Maybe you need a book about insulting me, huh?
but do you see how strongly you feel about it? That's my point exactly. This is
yes.
their beards.
It is like
so humble
scales.
as well.
It is like scales, but not skin.
Correct.
Like a not skin scales.
Yes.
I see. Interesting. Continue with your beard talk.
Well, I mean, there's not much else to say, but I cannot imagine that one of the dwarves would do this to another dwarf, knowing.
No.
Well, I mean, they're not exactly dwarves, but they would know.
Well, who is not? Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you were saying his dwarves were not exactly dwarves.
No.
Yes, so I did as well.
Yeah.
You say one song that you misunderstand the meaning. I speak the language. I understand the culture.
I think he can say about that. I don't know if he is the dwarf, correct? Where is he from me? He is
diagonally
that
down.
way.
Are you talking about I'm talking about Dantir. I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Yes.
You wouldn't refer to them as a dwarf. It's a separate people, and
They're definitely not evil dwarf.
Well, I'm not certain that he's not evil, but it's different.
Okay.
He's not a dwarf.
He's not a dwarf.
He's not a dwarf. He looks like a dwarf.
That's shortest.
I mean, everything about him looks like a dwarf, apart from his skin. Is that not racist?
He's not a dwarf.
Can we just clarify whether or not Droga are a type of dwarf, like a subtype of dwarf, or if they're an entirely different species?
To
Google.
To Google!
I'm pretty sure they're going to be a subtype.
Yeah, right.
They're not. I don't think they're separate.
But I mean, that's kind of like saying.
Yes, medium humanoid brackets dwarf.
Doesn't mean it's not what Dane says.
Also known as grey dwarves. Yeah. Okay.
It's like calling a person an ape. Well, not ape, but.
That might have been a little.
I don't know why that tickled me so much. Drogar are a subredu.
So matter of fact. So everyone understands.
Yes, quite. They are
I'm
a
so
subredu.
sorry.
Everyone else just wants to sound as smart as Adam. Yes, they are a subredu.
Subredu.
I understand completely. Yes, they're a subredu.
I think he watches on his TV. It types on like the iPad and just like ruins it. I'm sorry. Oh man. But they are different people, really. I mean, it's like calling a high elf a drow the same thing. People would balk at it. They've experienced completely different living situations. They have different cultures. They have different things that they consider sacred, different traits beyond just the color of their skin. I don't think that you can really call them. In any case, I wouldn't refer to them as a dwarf if I were you, Casimir.
Well, they do not seem to like other dwarves, so perhaps I will not. At least this is the only one I've ever met, so perhaps the others are not so bad.
Perhaps.
I mean, all I have seen of him is nothing, really. I have not met the man. I have heard only from what you speak.
Oh, that's fair. You weren't.
I was off shooting my bow and stuff when you were meeting with him. Perhaps he will like me. Everyone likes me.
That's true.
How can they not with these majestic scales?
What a good point.
I'm glad you agree. So, what do you plan on doing, King Daen?
Do you want to approach Dantier, or do you want to approach Farkas?
I will. Well, wait. Will we
or we can do both. That's fine.
Hey, man.
I'm behind you. This justice needs to be done. You know.
I think we should talk to Dantier first.
Okay.
And just confront him with this information and see what he has to say.
Is that? I think Tom saw my face then, but my face was just
Dave was like, I think I'm going to talk to Dantier first, and then Susan went.
Wait, I want to look at my spells really quick. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to click that.
Hyacinth wants justice.
Absolutely, this is a slight that needs to be answered for.
The main reason I would be concerned about talking to him first was just how abrasive he was to us before we had any dirt on him. But now we got dirt. So we could.
What a magnificent chance for us to establish a more positive relationship. He obviously had
beating the shit out of him.
Absolutely not. You don't get anywhere. You don't get anywhere with that. Sometimes I have found that in dealing with different peoples of different cultures, they have different ways of approaching things. With dwarves, you tend not to use maybe as much of honeyed words. You want to show that you appreciate the value of their work when you're making a business deal, and that you respect them, and you meet them at the terms that they see fit. And so with elves, they require a little bit more finery and wine. But the
Does Susan perk up at that, or take offense?
I perked up at that. Like, what?
And he obviously has preconceived notions, and this is a wonderful opportunity to maybe change someone's mind about how they feel about another people.
Okay.
Not at all being a bard right now, at all.
I think we should speak to Savid first and find out who else was there. If there was like someone running like the bar or something, a third party who is not biased towards either group to corroborate the story.
Yes, detective mode.
We can then go to the guy I've already forgotten his name.
Dantier.
Dantier.
Top tier of Dans. Yes, let's do that. Sounds like a good plan, King Daen.
So, did you not?
Do I need to just call you that? Okay, all right.
No, you knew me before I was a king.
I have to say something is when we're in front of Savid, okay? Just if I say your grace or something in front of Savid, just let it happen.
Sure, whatever.
So, off to find Savid, is it?
Yeah, we're off to find a Savid. The wonderful Savid of Odds.
Okay. Well, wandering around the grounds to find Savid, you find him actually talking to Soph.
Which one's Soph? Keep forgetting.
The quartermaster.
Quartermaster. She is once again at the base of the ladder, the rope ladder that they have at the base of the Wayward. A couple of meters away is Dantier.
Soph is they, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You said Dante's close by.
Yes.
Okay.
They're having a conversation, correct?
No, so Soph
Savid
and Savid are having a conversation. Dantier is just nearby. At the base of this, like underneath the wayward, which has now been parked, anchored, more like a little way away from the front of Geese now, are quite a few like crates, like different piles of crates, kind of like at a dock. It's kind of like anchored there, and there are people coming and going, organizing ship manifests and that kind of thing. You can see that some people have been bringing items that they've had on the ship to trade with merchants that you have here, and they're also bringing supplies that they've purchased back onto the ship.
I kind of want to wait to see if they just naturally finish their conversation and part
Yeah,
ways.
okay.
Just like,
Well, a couple of minutes later, then Savid does peel away and he starts walking towards you.
Okay.
So
let me set up an interception course.
Okay. In which case he bows. King Dane. Susan, hi, Casimir. It's a pleasure as always.
Good day.
Yes. It's equally pleasurable to see you.
Yes. It is many pleasurefuls.
This is how kings speak now. And everyone has to accept it because I'm a king.
Then I will adopt your speech.
No, please don't.
Ways.
Look,
many pleasurefuls of mine to do so.
Please stop, Sanders.
Okay, yes, Your Majesty.
We have a sensitive matter to discuss with you.
Of course.
Do you happen to know anybody else who was in the mess hall last night, perhaps serving drinks or working?
I'm afraid I had an early night, Your Majesty. I wasn't there. Although the mess hall is largely, it's kind of the hot spot for many of our regulars, as well as people who stay here, and many of the people from the Wayward have been spending nights there, enjoying the bar.
Are there any regulars that were there when you were there?
I wasn't there.
Oh. Do you know of any regulars who are there most of the time?
Yes. Well, your dwarven comrades spend most evenings there. Several of the clergymen do tend to be there. A couple of the revenants have actually started to spend some time there. They tend to keep to their own. They don't really talk to anyone else, but they seem to enjoy the ambiance. Perhaps it reminds them of live.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, at least they're not being locked up anymore, so that's good.
Yeah, we did stop that. Yeah, we stopped locking them up. Turns out, keeping them in one place makes that room very smelly. If we let the air circulate a little bit, it's not so bad.
Excellent news.
I can only imagine.
Also, all of the groans coming from that one room was a bit much.
People are asking questions.
Yeah. So the clergymen, do you know where they are at the moment? They're probably in the
It's entirely possible that they're at the temple. However, I've been meaning to discuss something with you, all of you, really. Is that some of the members, some of those who's been spending quite a lot of time here, have realised that we're somewhat at capacity when it comes to living quarters, and have moved north to the forest line and have started cutting down trees to make houses. As the occupants of the land, I feel like it might be something to keep you aware of. Yes. I don't believe they've named their settlement yet, but there are a couple of houses up already. I suppose you would have naming rights, each of you, and I suppose that it would somewhat fall under your leadership, I suppose.
Well, I guess we'll have to go and spend them a visit. See what's going on.
Spend them many pleasurefuls.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry, Your Majesty. Tax them.
Tax it
I've had neighbours like that.
Beautiful taxis.
But I thought I would keep you aware of that. Whether or not that's something you are happy with or unhappy with, I mean, are there any steps you'd like for me to take?
Well, I only worry for their safety if they are putting these houses up and they are not well defended. Given the last siege was quite.
Well, they are not within the walls, but it's possibly a 10-minute walk away from the keep.
Yes. Perhaps we should have
retreat within the walls if danger were afoot.
Yes, maybe we should set up some kind of bell-based signal.
A bell-based signal.
Yes, so if there is danger, the bell will sound loudly, and they can scurry in here and hide, be defended.
It's Jerome. We're going for more like Jeremy names.
I'm trying to think of one.
Jericho or Janice, and I was like, not Jericho. Bad foreshadowing.
That is foreshadowing, yeah. I couldn't.
Let's call it Pompeii.
Pompeii, yes. Love it. Okay. Well, I mean, they haven't got a leader as such, and I mean, it's early days whether or not they even consider themselves a separate community or part of Geese. Many of them spend their nights in the mess hall.
I see. Yeah. Well, is there one that is taking more of the leadership role out there that we should go and speak to?
Nobody has come forth as of yet. But there are. I mean, it's so recent I hadn't had a chance to go out and even see who it is that's settling there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. It's just been very busy here with the way we're
doing a fantastic job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right. I need to go and find some clergymen. Unless there is anything else, Savitt?
No, absolutely no. Well, yeah, no. I will leave you to your duties, each of you. I'll get out of your hair.
What's Dante doing at the moment?
Dante is currently sat on a crate.
Being a dick.
Being a dick.
Sticking bits of hair to his face.
He's what?
Sticking hair to his face.
Call it Gondor.
What was he actually doing?
So he's sat on a crate talking to a couple of people who are wearing the Wayward's kind of uniform.
Do we have in the mess hall if there's food and ale, there needs to be somebody who handles that, like a kitchen master. There are either cooks or people who volunteer or whatever. There's got to be a way to figure out who we had in our establishment that would have been purveying for that evening. I think we need to talk to them about the dwarf thing before we go talk to Daerd.
Yeah.
In some cultures, sitting on crates is punishable by death.
True. I've heard that.
That crate is actually a king from a far off land.
How dare he sit on that crate? We should kill him. I'm a bard. I would know this. Adam. You're a wizard.
Right. Okay. So off to the mess hall, is it?
Or wherever the clergy people would be.
Oh, the clergy.
We could do the clergy first and then the mess hall later.
Sure.
I'm just following Daerd at this point.
Okie dokie. Well, I mean, you've got the choice of the temple, any of the kind of communal areas, the mess hall, or this settlement that's to the north.
I think we can leave the settlement for now. We'll go to speak to them later.
Mm-hmm.
Dane just wants to get to the bottom of this before there's any more trouble.
Okay.
Ideally, before tonight, when everyone's back in the mess hall and everyone's tempers are already high.
All right, let's go. If Savid wouldn't know who was in charge that day, then whatever roster we would need to find out, or whoever's there now, we can go talk to and find out who was working last night or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
So what, to the mess hall then?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's not like a roster or something that we can just...
Okay, sure. Well, the mess hall at Geese is quite poorly organized because it doesn't. It's got the attention of a couple of people who have maybe decided that they want to settle here and take part of the duties. But these are all largely very inexperienced people. It's not like you've gone and headhunted some barmaids or whatever. You've got whoever has access to the stalls and who is happy to take tips, basically. So the person who is currently behind the equivalent of the bar, which is at the moment several kegs, empty barrels, in a line with a plank of wood on the top, is Tan. His name is Tan Humbleflower. Oh, hello.
Tam or Tan?
Tan.
Well, I suppose I wouldn't know that.
He's a very short human who is absolutely, it almost looks like he's bald. He's not. He has very fine blonde hair, but it's very, very short. So it's kind of, the majority of he's kind of balding, but the hair that he does have is very, very fine, very short blonde hair.
I do believe we've not had the pleasure of meeting yet. I'm Dane.
Oh, hello. I've heard about you. Can I shake your hand?
Yes. Dane holds his hand up.
Oh, I've met a king. That's quite cool.
Yes. And what is your name?
My name's Tan.
Tan, we have a very important question for you.
Oh, okay.
Last night, do you know who was working behind this? Dane looks up and down. Bar.
Oh, oh. It might have been Bluegrud.
I'm also not familiar, unfortunately, with them.
Oh, have you not met Bluegrud? He's well lovely, he is.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, he's a nice fella.
Where would I find him when he's not working here?
Oh, he's over there. He points, and there's just a large orc gentleman who's just kind of sat at a table with some very small spectacles on, reading a tiny book.
Of course, it's a tiny book. Is it a normal sized book, but it looks tiny because it's got massive hands? Right.
It's huge.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah, same me was working the other night, I think. We mostly split it between ourselves. We get tips, you see.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I hope to see...
are you in charge?
I'm one of them.
One of those in charge, yeah. See, we're running out.
In general?
Yeah, of like everything.
That's awkward, isn't it?
Well, the see thing was, we had people coming in from Cliff Harbour. Don't happen no more. But do you know people in Providence? Maybe you could get them to send stuff.
I will see what I can do when I'm next.
Because we got money, I think. Probably.
I will talk to Savid. I'm sure he knows the situation.
All right. We need everything.
I understand.
At the moment, it's just like water and bits of beer. It's not real beer. It's really watered down. The dwarves are noticing.
I'm sure they would have noticed immediately, but were...
Yeah, but that's all we got.
He's doing Morse code in his blinks.
He seems to be frozen.
Are you in need of food as well, or are you?
Well,
Speaking of...
yeah.
drink?
We mostly do a bit of hunting to the north, but we had dried stuff here, but we're running out of that too. We would buy things from the merchants, but now these wayfinder blokes have come round. There's no food left because they eat. There's lots of them. They got to eat.
Are they?
Well, they're buying from us.
Okay.
They're not just stealing. They're nice.
But surely they have food upon their own vessel.
Well, yeah, but it's probably not like nice.
No, but what are the chances of them? Never mind, Tan. We will sort this.
All right.
Thank you much for your help.
That's all right.
Now I need to go and speak to this gentleman over here.
All right, that's Blodgett over there. He's hard to miss.
Yes, I can see that. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Mr. King.
Bye, Tan.
It was nice to meet you.
You're still right next to him.
Like slowly backing away.
Come back.
Dane, haven't you done something before where you created food? Maybe I'm misremembering.
I have not done that. I can find food to feed a small number of people. But I could again go back to my rest, and I could learn to feed lots of people. So if things get very desperate.
Yeah. Maybe that's a thought for later on.
In the time being, shall we have a break for bio?
I think we should.
Yes, good shout.
Okay.
Bio break.
Bio break.
Bio break, little bio break. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Everyone go write your bio.
Oh, mine's already been written.
Oh, baby.
Have you seen it? It's impressive. It's got like bolded bits so that you can easily see like important names and places.
Shit. Damn.
I did have one at one point. I don't know where it went.
Mine's not very good.
I think it was in Roll20, and then it did the update and it all disappeared.
Oh. Excellent.
Oh, no. Okay, BRB.
A burb.
Sure.
Hello. Oh, it's me, Atomio. Today's session has been wildly sidetracked. Welcome to D&D. The murder is strong. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of murder.
I mean, as a lover of all things dwarven, I get it, but seriously, the murder is strong.
You gave them a kingly side quest. I'm happy with my side quest generation.
Yeah.
Imagine how much stuff would have been done if I hadn't, side quested you with a Tempest. The Tempest was a cast-off idea that I just happened to have on the spot.
I feel like a lot of stuff got done. Hyacinth is kind of like, haha, things are falling into place now.
Yeah, but at the same time, probably could have done this entire like you and your dad story in like 2 sessions, maybe.
I mean, yeah, if people were more cooperative on that ship, it would have been really just,
Yes, I'm an amazing DM who has come up with lots of distractions. One of
if
the
we didn't want to make people cry, we probably could have done it in like 30 minutes, to be honest. But
that's true. There is no track in D&D, just all side paths. I'm very much leaning into the whole like who gives a fuck attitude of progression. As long as everyone's having fun and we're enjoying ourselves hanging out with each other, who gives a fuck whether or not you've made progress that day. Progress is relative.
right.
There is a main quest.
God.
God.
What? Right.
Hello, Amater, it's me, Hyacinth. Fuck you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh! Lightning strike.
You know that scene in Aladdin where he wakes up the genie and he's like, did you wake me up, or did you rub my lamp? Did you wake me up? Did you bring me here? That's Hyacinth right now.
Whoa. One of my sister's friends from childhood, I have her on Facebook, and we never really like talk or anything. But she's just got a makeover done. She looks like a middle-aged lady. Like, she looks good.
Middle-aged or, okay, yeah.
She looks good, but she looks like a middle-aged lady. Like, wait, I don't know if it's okay to show her photo. You don't know who she is.
Yeah, maybe don't, though, just because, you didn't ask her.
Okay, well, this is her.
Oh, wow, yeah, totally middle-aged.
Yeah, right.
Get wrinkly. My fingers have,
Bruh.
Oh my god.
That's how skin works. Look, see.
Oh my god. Oh, your fingers are so soft and not at all wrinkly.
No, they are. I have super wrinkly hands. Look at that.
Look at these wrinkly hairs. Whoa, look at them. Look at them wrinkles. Whoa. It's an old man hand.
Wow.
Well, you can't really see him very well. I actually had a whole conversation.
I have my light here to cast loads of shadows on the teeny tiny wrinkles. Tom's hands are terrible, it is known. You haven't talked to my girlfriend.
Wrinkled for her pleasure.
I don't have a girlfriend at the moment.
Wrinkled for her pleasure. Such a statement.
Old wrinkle hands. Wrinkly old hand, man. Right, okay. So, what we are currently doing is talking to Blugrun.
Oh, yeah. I was like, who the fuck that? Oh.
Who Blugrun? Who Blugrun?
It sounds like you're talking to a little dog. You Blugrun.
Who's your Blugrun? Who's your good Blugrun? Right. Blue green the org. Blugrun. Blugrun.
Blugrun.
Blugrun. It's hunting for an excuse for Hyacinth to murder. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not murder if it's done with justice in your heart.
I feel like it's still murder.
Justice in
your heart.
Actually, legally, there is a difference. Legally, murder is like premeditated and without like self-defense or cause. Illegally.
Yeah, it's definitely murder.
Yeah, that makes it very murder. Premeditated murder.
I can't believe you, Dane. You should train for your dwarves.
That's still murder. That's still murder. Right, okay, so you chatting to our boy Blugrun?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Away you leave towards Blugrun. Blugrun is sat at one of the tables in the mess hall, reading a book that seems small but is large, well, normal sized, but he is very big. Very, very big. And he is wearing small spectacles on the tip of his nose. Yes.
Are you?
Who are you that interrupts my reading?
I am Dane, and this is Hyacinth, and this is Susan.
Oh, those names ring a bell.
Yes, they bite you.
Where do I know those names from?
Dane just waits patiently.
I have no idea, but what can I do for you? He puts his book down.
I believe, or Tan has led me to believe at least, that you were working behind the bar over there yesterday.
Yes, in the evening. Yes, quite.
I've got rather a sensitive matter to discuss with you then.
Very well.
I believe that there was somewhat of a disturbance at the piece, perhaps.
Well, not more than a usual night at the pub.
So, were I assume the dwarves were there.
Yes, well, they're always here.
Yes. What about? Has anyone from the Wayward? Where's anyone here from there?
You mean in this rather large room in an area that's filled with people from that ship? Yes, there were at least a few, yes.
Okay. Well, all right. I have not been here recently.
Okay.
So how about, was Dantia? Did you see
Who's
him
that?
about? Okay. The dwarves, were they arguing with anyone any more than usual? Were they being rowdy?
There were several fights that evening, if I recall correctly, yes.
There were fights?
Well, arguments. They're dwarves. They have, well, you know, they drink a lot.
They do. And I'm sure that the watered down beer has not put them in the best of moods either.
Yes, well, I'm afraid that's kind of what happens when you run out of beer. You have to make do.
Did you happen to see any of the people they were fighting with?
Well, they fought amongst themselves for a while. I believe there was an argument with the little black dwarf.
He's not a dwarf, but yes.
He's not a dwarf.
No, it doesn't matter. Please carry on.
Well, he looks like a dwarf.
I know.
Is he? Well,
that argument. So you're saying they were arguing. Did you see it come to more than just an argument? Did you?
Oh, several times there were pushes and fisticuffs, but nothing to the point of concern. You know, there's the usual bar brawls on a minor scale.
Right. And did you see when you left that was one of the dwarves still here, like perhaps passed out on the table?
No, there are usually at least a few vagrants sleeping on the desks. Yes.
And was the little black dwarf still around?
Not that I noticed.
Thank you very much. I have no more questions for you. I'll let you get back to your literature.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Unless my companions have anything.
A few questions.
Hello.
Hi. How late were you here last night?
Well, we don't really have clocks in here, so I tend to just work until it gets quiet.
So you didn't happen to see anybody coming in after a lot of people were asleep and, I don't know, messing with the sleeping people, rifling through pockets?
If I were, I would have stopped them. I believe in the man's right to sleep unaccosted.
So who usually watches over the place once whoever is here for the evening has left?
Nobody.
Wonderful.
I mean, I don't know whether you know much about the arrangements that we have here, but largely myself and Tan run the mess hall. Savid has left some ingredients as well as some beverages under our control. We dole them out. We take money for them as well as tips, and then we use that money to buy other goods and services. But apart from that, it's just us. And we've not been given any other staff. We came across this of our own will, as it were.
No, that's
This place
fine.
is not especially well run.
Well, there are demons falling from the sky, and we can't do everything, so...
Yes, but welcome to Faerun.
I think we can both agree that this is slightly out of the ordinary, but that's neither here nor there. We just had questions.
Very
So if you
well.
can think of anything, and anyone in particular who was up late after you left, and you could give us a name and point us in a direction. We just have a few questions, so if you can answer
There
them.
were only a few of the dwarves that were together. I don't know whether or not any of them were non-dwarves or not. They all look like dwarves to me.
So everyone was asleep when you left, essentially.
Well, in their groups at least. Perhaps one or two of the dwarves weren't completely asleep.
Other than the dwarves, was anyone else awake when you left?
No.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Au revoir.
Wait, what book are you reading?
Oh, it's just, it's something interesting.
Something intellectual.
Can I see
Don't make me come up with book names on the spot,
But
damn!
you're gonna come up with horse erotica. Yeah, it's
Horse
time.
erotica. It's not horse erotica. Is that enough for everybody? It's not horse erotica.
We had to know. I had to ask.
What's the first sentence of the page?
The first sentence of the page that he is reading is, some things in this book are very interesting, others are not. This
Did you write
chapter
it?
is filled with specifically and only interesting things.
Why would you read any of the other chapters? That makes no sense.
That sounds exactly like the sort of book he would be reading.
Hey, Deeks, thank you for the host. How are you doing?
Tika!
I hope your stream went well.
The next chapter sucks.
Adam, that was our next question. Fuck off.
It's horse erotica. No! He's a gentleman, a scholar. He does not read horse erotica.
Wow.
Only
keep
grapefruit techniques.
Hi, Commodore.
At some points I had 12 people watching my sim eat pizza, so it went okay actually. Is
Oh,
that
there was a
pretty
Tika
genuine?
stream.
Hey, Commodore.
Hey, Commodore, what up, bruh? Bruh,
Bruh.
bruh.
Was that your
Reviews?
best American accent?
Bruh.
No.
Bruh.
Bruh. Yo, what up, man? Bruh.
You sound like Elvis Presley.
Oh, I'm all shook up. Oh, yeah, hey, I'm all shook up.
Nice.
Good
Thank you.
job. Good job.
Take
We
it
are
back.
all here trying to find a way to justice a Duragar.
Justice. Okay, I'm trying to-
Justice means murder. They want to kill someone with no reason.
There's a difference between killing and murder.
Yes, but this is definitely murder because it's
Is it
premeditated.
not both of those things.
You can premeditatedly plan to defend yourself against someone. Should
Premeditate, yeah. Defend yourself till their death.
if it becomes necessary.
Isn't murder killing? I
Murder
feel
is
like
a
killing is
super-
just killing. I feel
Murder
like
Murder is a
Killing,
I
subset of
feel-
killing.
I was going to say, isn't killing the header word that we have here? Killing and then everything under killing, right? And murder is under killing. It's a type of killing.
You can murder someone without ever killing them. You can let them die.
What?
It's like it's they're like squares and rectangles. Like murder is killing, but killing isn't necessarily murder. But like it's
What?
Oh, like if you don't help
if someone
someone.
is across the table from you and they're choking
Uh-huh.
and you don't do anything, are you killing them?
Well, you're not murdering them.
Did you
Okay.
make the food
So
thing
you-
that they're choking on?
You're not killing or murdering them. They just die.
You don't consider it murder if you have the capacity to save their life and you simply choose not to? You didn't kill them.
No, but you're responsible for that. Okay, you know what?
Responsible for their death, and you actively decided to be responsible for their death.
Say there were 5 people on one railway track and 1 person on the other.
No,
And
not
there's
doing
a
this
train
one.
going towards the 5 people. Do you pull the lever that makes it go to the 1 person instead?
Yes.
Oh, you've murdered that person!
Yep.
They're
and
dead!
5 people doing it.
You're responsible for his death!
Yep. And I'm also
Go to
responsible for
prison!
saving 5 people.
But also prison,
Also, most people wouldn't actually.
where you're murdered.
Only if
Premeditated.
it's American prison.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's continue with the board game.
The board
The
game.
I never
tabletop-
have understood why people had a hard time answering that question.
Well, the idea is that you're murdering someone.
Well, it's
You're killing someone. You're saving 5
You're killing someone.
You're saving 5
you're
people, and the
responsible
collateral
for the death
damage
of
is
1
killing 1 person.
so.
Yeah,
a
but
lot
then
of
they go
people-
on and they're like, what if the 5 people are all criminal murderers and the 1 person is... Wait, no, what if the... Wait, yeah, what if
Yeah,
the
what
5
if the
people are
1
criminal
person- what if-
murderers and the 1 person's a saint or some shit?
Then I let the 5 people die. Like that, you change the parameters completely when you start ascribing like
There's still the value of 5 lives compared to the value of 1 life.
value of 5 lives who are willing to subvert other lives for their existence. Less valuable, in my opinion.
But what if all 5 of the murderers murdered other murderers who were going to murder more people? Premeditated.
So now you're
In
asking me if I
self-defense.
save 5 adventurers and kill 1 cleric?
Jenny, danger noodle time.
That was great that you said that so fast.
Danger noodle time. Anyway, so you've got you've interrogated some members of the staff.
Do you see what Commodore said? If you switch it to the 1 person, you have a better chance of saving them.
So most people would do nothing because they get frozen in panic and can't actually make a rational decision, so they just don't do anything.
That's fair.
That's what most people would actually do in that situation, which is really weird. Because everyone's like, yeah, I'd switch it because the 1 person's gonna have a better chance, but most people just can't think rationally in that actual situation.
Time. Plus, how many people actually know how to change a train track?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
There was a whole like Vsauce episode, I think, on this.
Anyway, so we're not getting anything out of our people, and so I don't think there's any other way to gather information reasonably. How do you feel about that assessment?
Yeah, probably got all the information we can. I guess.
So what are you going to do?
You want to talk to Dan Tierdane?
Yes.
How do you plan to approach the situation?
Fists. No. I don't want to let on that we know anything.
Are you premeditating here, Doc?
I'm premeditating that I'm going to discuss with him, yes.
I don't... Were they there with me for the conversation? They were, weren't they? The first time I spoke to him. The first person I spoke to off.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you went to meet up with them, and then you went to talk to him.
So he already knows he's a stubborn asshole. Okay, good.
Yes. So you have to meet him?
I asked him how he planned to approach it.
And Dane said,
With fists, and said not really.
No, so I want to approach it with pretending that we don't really know anything, and just see if he trips up at all.
Maybe just like an apology for any like insults or anything like that. You don't have to mean it, but you have to say it, and that will disarm him, perhaps. Just a thought.
Yeah. You let his guard down, and you can surprise attack him.
with words. All right. As we're walking over, basically like right before Dane starts to speak to Dantier, if that happens, I'll just reach up and kind of pat him on the shoulder and be like, good luck, and I'll inspire him. On the condition of us speaking to him.
Yes, this is going to be fun.
You know what my inspiration is now? A D12.
D20. Oh.
I wish it were a D20. Oh, the DM said it. It's a D20 now.
What the DM says goes. How far can you cast Zone of Truth? Ah, no, I know what we should have done. We should have arranged a hearing between them and then made them all stand in Zone of Truth.
I'm fine with that. We can approach Varkas.
What?
And explain that a crime against your people has been committed and he stands accused, and we plan to hold a trial that can be infallible since you have the power to ensure that no one lies.
You are in a very...
Casimir, you're back. I'm kidding.
Casimir has been this entire time. He's just very not talkative. He's not a king. You are in a particular situation in that you are a king. You are an actual head of state. Whereas normally we would be in a situation where perhaps we would say, I would like you to step into this zone of truth and speak to some words that we'd like to hear, so we kill you. That is not... What does that mean from us? We are adventurers. However, you are not. You are not simply an adventurer, you are a king. If a king summons me somewhere, I probably go.
Thank you, Casimir.
I'll get back to doing nothing.
So, do we directly summon him, or do we go through his boss? I feel like we directly summon him. Or maybe not, because he doesn't like us.
Yeah.
You can summon him, and then if he doesn't come, then you go to Varkas and say, I understand you have a hands-off leadership tactic, but he has been summoned officially by a head of state and has refused him to show up, and we will consider him guilty unless he shows up to defend himself.
Yes. Okay, let's do that. So it'll be
more evil temple fingers from Hyacinth. Yes.
We should do it in the place where the crime was alleged to have taken place.
I agree.
There are like 50 people in the mess hall trying to have their lunch, and in the corner just there like,
hear ye.
Zone of truth.
You can also have it in the chapel since you're like a holy king too.
Oh yeah, no, we should totally do that. That's much better.
Does he have any reason to show up? I mean, he's not like Dane's subject. True.
No,
but if a king, if the fucking, like, I don't know, what country has kings still? If the Queen asks you to show up, if the Queen sends you an email, right, Royal Office of the Queen, hi time, can you come for a meeting, please? I want to have a word with you. You're not going to be like, oh, sorry, I got a dentist appointment that day.
Hey, you never know. You could have put down your money for it already. It might be
Monday's bad. How about Thursday next week?
I just need to get clearly spam from the Office of the Queen. This is definitely for sure the Queen.
There's a prince from Zimbabwe who has money for you.
What are you doing to get him to come to your court hearing?
I gotta go summon him and tell him that it's going to be like at some time, like sundown or something, assuming it's afternoon.
When you say summon him, bearing in mind we're in D&D, that can also mean a spell. What are you actually doing?
I'm gonna give him summons, like you would give someone summons to go to court.
Have someone do it for you. That looks more kingly.
Oh, okay. Have
them write it up and then you sign it at the bottom with a wax seal.
Oh.
Do you have a wax seal yet? Or like a
I do not believe that I do.
what is your royal emblem seal thing going to look like?
Really, Stags, how's it going, buddy?
This is not something I have put thought into. Dane has not had time to really think about all of these ins and outs. He's
Do you
got
have
a
like
crown.
a signet ring?
That would be an obvious setup time. What, the Queen of England's trying to set you up. You don't come over here to England. I'm going to premeditate and defend myself.
But would you switch the tracks?
I have powerful enemies. Playing uke, you've switched to uke. How can you go from guitar to uke?
Like this.
It's basically just a small guitar.
Hey.
Oh.
It's much easier.
It's a very small guitar.
It's my size guitar. I have little hands.
I'm a little uke boy.
Oh no.
Downtime has been lacking as fiends have been falling from the sky.
Mm.
Yeah. The Queen knows what she did.
Do you have like a signet ring of your house, or is that something?
Oh, sneeze 2 times. How many more are we going to get? How many more? Is that it? Oh, okay. He's a sneezing machine.
I sometimes have. I do not have any signet rings or emblems of my house, and I do not think it would be appropriate for me to use one of those.
That was my next question. No worries. We don't have to create one right now. Just thinking of a presentation.
Right this second. Go. Emblem.
I mean,
My face.
since we're talking about it,
Just get some wax.
Well,
just like,
your King Dane coin.
it's
Like one
just
of those, those spiky tray things that you like put your hand in and it keeps your hand. They simply do it with your face.
and it's wax.
Boiling hot wax.
And it all gets stuck in my beard.
Aw.
Went from rock and roll metal on guitar to love songs on uke.
Oh.
depending upon what you would like, I could make it for you. It would take maybe, it depends on what you would like, but it would only take me a little bit of time.
I do not think it's necessary. I think the formalities of this are less required, and more of the actual summon should be enough.
Absolutely.
So,
What level is everyone again?
15.
Many levels.
I am level king.
It's true, yes.
Both king and savior. You know, religious leader and all that.
I mean, the religious leader here is Susan. She's a paragon for a church.
Don't like to brag. So.
This guy's just a fucking lowly cleric. Jeez.
Wow.
A lowly cleric who banished an entire army and another army.
But that wasn't the important thing to remember. That wasn't premeditated. I did not know that was going to happen. It was not a premeditated banishing.
Love it.
I mean, I was trying to banish some of them, but not all of that many of them.
But I believe Dane didn't admit that to us, or did he later say that? Because at first he was like, "Oh yeah, just trying this little thing."
Oh no, yeah, no. He originally he said that he meant to do that, and then earlier
Yeah.
you were discussing the nature of this storm and its effect on magic, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to delete all demons from the face of the planet."
I mean, I'm not, upset about that.
I think there's a great many people who aren't upset about that.
Right. Let's summon these peoples.
Okay, so who are you summoning and with what?
With my summoning stone. I'm going to summon the dwarves that came to see me earlier.
Mhm.
So particularly, obviously, Johnny.
Yep.
And then the others.
Mhm.
And then Dan Tia.
Okay.
Because he is the alleged crime doer. That's some fancy words. I'm going to summon them to the chapel at sundown, where they shall answer my questions in the front of the Grace of Lathander and inside my zone of truth. We shall get to the bottom of this matter, and appropriate punishments will be doled to those who have created undue stress upon me, basically.
Okay. So,
but I won't put that in the letter. That's a side note.
So, are you writing this down in parchment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Badly.
No, I'm helping him with the word.
Okay.
I assumed he's writing it down for me because Dane can't write good.
Me talk pretty one day.
Johnny from the On the Spot clan. Honestly, as a fellow DM, Adam, I expect better from you than calling out my DM problems. All right.
Johnny and his 5 dwarf friends.
Well, 5 of them. Well,
they're alive as well.
Down tier.
They're alive.
They're alive as well.
It's a reference because
so you're having Hyacinth write it all out for you. Who's delivering them? Who's delivering the summons?
Ooh, one of your clergy. Sorry, you pick. This is just Hyacinth suggesting things.
Yes. Or we could get Savid. Someone more neutral who may have had dealings with them. But
that's fair.
I think Savid. We'll have Savid do it. We'll have Savid
it's
deliver.
Very extreme for a beard cut. Some people pay for that to be done.
Today they do, but they paid willingly. They premeditated that.
This is I see. This is an unpremeditated.
Casimir, the other thing that I fear is that this is only the first stage, and then the next stage of retaliation, and it's not long before someone's blood is spilt upon the stones of this mess hall. So
I see. You are a very responsible king. I've been haranguing Katie most of the game. I have to spread the love. Leave Johnny alone. The only reason I came up with Johnny is because I was speaking in a Scottish accent, and Johnny is such a good way to say things. And dude, try saying Johnny in a Scottish accent. You'll just be, oh, Johnny.
Leave Brittany alone.
Right. Your summons is sent via Savid, did you say?
Yes. Yep. To
Via
both
Savid.
dwarves and
Okay, so you're sending it to the 3 dwarves, one of whom is Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
The cuttee, as well as Daerd. Anyone else?
The alleged cutter. They didn't mention anyone else, did they?
No, everyone you've spoken to so far has been Tan, Blugrun. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have anything to particularly...
I have to tell us since one shit of the vampire must
One shot. Apparently there's a porta potty joke. I haven't seen that one shot, so.
Alleged.
I didn't even say cutter. I said cuttee.
So are we skipping ahead to the trial, or is there anything you would like to do to prepare for the trial? Is this in your in the temple, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else.
How long until sundown?
I mean, a couple hours.
We could go to that little settlement and name it.
Yeah. Yes, it'd be good to get my mind off this for a while.
Okay. Is that the plan then?
Yes.
Okay, so a short.
And then we'll return for court.
A short 10-minute walk, or a brisk 10-minute walk to the north. I would prefer if you all did the motions for walking, please. Thank you.
Can't we just all get on Brittany? Let's all get
I'm
on Brittany.
short, so I have to walk a lot faster than everyone else.
And you arrive at what is essentially a small hamlet. There are 5 buildings. Each of them are very small houses that could possibly kind of keep 2 at a very maximum people's belongings in, and a bed. You can see that there are the path between here and Geese is still not especially well trodden, though you can also see marks in the ground where logs have been pulled from the forest, which this is quite close to, and dragged away from the tree line. Whilst it's close to the tree line, it's not so close that they are living in the forest, though they are definitely within earshot of any kind of woodland beasts. As you arrive, you can see that there is very little to say about this, apart from that there are some small log cabins. There are very few features. The area is very flat. It's kind of grassland. So, like I said, to the north there is the tree line of the forest that leads further off into the distance. Apart from that, you've just got a small, nondescript hamlet.
Is there anyone like outside around?
There is an elderly gentleman who has a saw, and he's chopping some. He's cutting some wood.
He's not just hurting. Right.
No, he's cutting some wood. He's got several logs, kind of lined up, and he's got there's a younger, like kind of old teenage boy who's with him, helping him lift the logs and doing some cutting.
Are you waiting to see who's talking? I'm assuming we're allowing Dane to do this.
Oh.
It's been a very Dane-heavy episode, isn't it?
Exactly. Dane is currently just like mulling over everything that's happened so far today, so he's kind of like almost daydreaming, but just going over like what he's going to say in court. And...
Okay, that's fair. You don't have to. Susan?
Oh, I was trying to think of what the command was. I was like, I know there's a Nath art, but I think there's also a D&D art, so I put them both in, but Snorts did the other one, so good job, Snorts. Thank you. Okay, let's walk over to the guy then.
Okay.
Hello.
So the elderly gentleman is kind of sawing away. Oh, my lady, and he kind of bows, and he's old, so he kind of bends over and says, hello.
Hi, sorry about that. How are you doing? What's your name?
That's fine. My name's Ostia. It's a pleasure to meet you. You are just as beautiful as everyone says. Oh my god.
Oh
my
I'm
goodness.
having an off day as well. Thank you.
Sorry, just 1 second. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, bro, introduce yourself. And a small, kind of, like I said, top end of the teens lad comes out, and he's got a hood, like a hooded jacket, and it's kind of like cut with holes in the sleeves. Cool. And it's like the hood is like pointed, and he's like got his hands in his pockets, and you can just see his thumbs are like sticking out. Hey, what's up?
Hi, what was your name? Sorry.
My name's Obrol.
Say it again for me.
Obrol.
Obrol.
Like yeah, it's like Obral.
R-A-L.
Sup? Yeah.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Nice.
Oh my god, you're so good looking.
Thank you. Very kind. How are you guys doing today? What are you?
Dad, shut up! You're embarrassing me. He's like, sorry. He's going through a phase.
Oh, yeah.
He's going through a phase. I was kind of we thought we'd come away from the main settlement and just make our own. Well, I mean, his mother passed away recently, and I thought. I'm kind of looking after him now, and it's better that it's just the two of us. And then some others kind of just decided to follow our lead, and it's not bad. I just kind of I'm helping now. I'm cutting some logs and making some more houses. Is that okay? Is that all right? I know that you guys are like the big bosses. Should I Does he have like a ring I should be kissing or something like the king? Is that a?
I think he doesn't.
Oh no, I don't need any of that.
No. Okay. All right.
Right.
That's fine. Obral's like, kings are so lame.
I mean, not lame. It's pretty cool, right?
Kings are so lame.
Good to
Don't
be.
you think?
No, kings
Do
are
you think kings
cool.
are lame?
There's a couple things are cool. Think about it.
No, kings are like well lame.
Okay.
You do realize that it's treason to say that, right?
Oh, I'm not a dwarf.
Hey, it's cool to be
Isn't
nice,
like,
though. It's cool to be nice. You know.
But the
Is
dwarves,
it like
dwarves
you're
will
so
see it that
lame.
way. So, I mean, maybe not spreading the idea that you think that kings are lame.
Oh, shut up. I'm going. And kind of like wanders off. You can see that you can see him around the corner of the house, like he's still there. You can see that he's like kind of like leaning against the wall, like trying to be cool, but you can just see like he's kind of like leaning his head around the corner, but like this is the wall. He's kind of like sorry about him. He's like I said, it's been very difficult with the passing of his mother. And it's been hard. She was a priestess of Kalemvor, and he's taken it very hard. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm sure you've suffered from your own losses as it were. Let's not dwell on the past. Is there anything I can help you with?
Well, we were told that this was happening, so we all just came over here to check it out, basically. I think we had some concerns on whether if anything were to happen, that you guys wouldn't be protected by our walls on our keep was one of the main concerns.
Yes. Yes. See, we were here actually. My wife perished in the defense of Geese. But we absolutely believe in you and your place in this on this island, and what you're doing is absolutely fundamentally necessary. We needed to be away from the hustle and bustle. It's very overcrowded at the moment with the ship people. And I mean, we just
yeah, it's understandable.
Needs to be away. I mean, we could. There's a lot of trees. I could make a fence.
I mean, Susan looks at Dane like.
So, yes, we're here because we are concerned about your safety. So, how about we set up some kind of signaling system? So many villages and towns have a bell, like the church bell, that
That's
they all
a fantastic
ring.
idea. Yeah, absolutely, brilliant idea. I mean, I like I said, we weren't planning on so many people joining us. I say we. I'm kind of making the choices here, as you might have guessed. But we could definitely commission a bell. Maybe I don't have a lot of money.
No. We'll get the bell. You don't have to worry about it.
Oh well, that would be fantastic. If you could have someone ring a bell, we'll know to run and so you endorse our little settlement then. We weren't planning on surpassing Geese. We were hoping that we could remain part of your stronghold,
Yes.
I suppose.
Geese is not large enough for everyone, and it's good that you've taken your own initiative to build somewhere to house more players, more people, more players, more pawns.
Players in this game. I've come to name it, for I am king. Adam.
It doesn't.
I've come to name it.
Don't be off-settled by our presence. We're not here because we feel any ill will towards this. We simply want to make sure you're safe, and know that more people will come once they realize there's an alternative to being crowded if they feel as such. So that's fine. We just don't want you to put yourself in harm's way, and wanted to establish the system?
Well, I mean, I've been a lumberjack for more years than I can count. So cutting down trees and putting up houses isn't difficult for me. It's hard doing it on your own. But I've got my trusty son up, bro. Oh, shut up, Dad. Oh my God. He's been fantastic, really, absolutely, so great. Dad, oh my God. It's just so nice to get away with your family.
Yes, seems it.
It's gotta you gotta keep yourself busy in the wake of a loved one's passing, and some of these houses aren't even filled. People started coming over here, and I started putting them up, and those two over there, that nobody lives in them.
Oh,
really?
Oh, really? It's just the two of you.
Well, there's another house over here, and he kind of points just in the distance. You can see there's another small building. It's just got a couple people over there, and it's what it is. I mean, hopefully more people will come.
Indeed, more people will come to safety. Now,
originally we were trying to get away, but now I can see that it's too much being alone with that boy. Dad, I hate you. Oh my God. Ugh.
he'll grow out of it.
I really hope so.
Is there anything we could do to help?
Unless you're lumberjacks.
No. I mean, I can carry things sometimes, but that's about it.
Well, anytime you've got some free time, you come on down and help me cut some trees down.
Will do.
Milady.
Anytime. No problem.
so can we leave this small settlement in your hands to make sure that it's built sturdily and safely?
If you can find anyone else who will help put things together, I mean, if we had some stone and someone who could work stone rather than just the wood that we've got here, that would be
stonemason.
Some kind of mason would be really handy.
Interesting. Say such a thing.
I feel like I have a plot hook stuck in me.
Well then, interesting.
I'd like to just point out that was completely on the spot. All right, that wasn't planned.
It wasn't premeditated.
That wasn't
premeditated.
That's not a plot hook. That's not me being like, come over here, Fez. Okay. Au natural.
Well, we might have someone in mind that can help then.
What a coincidence. Tom's face is not made for poker. Did you see it go?
I mean, it's not like it's altogether unreasonable to think that you would need a mason to help build a settlement. It's,
Yes.
That was Katie, not Hyacinth.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I mean, anytime you guys need anything from me, you come on down.
Thank you. That was very kind.
Your trusty lumberjack.
Yes.
Just available whenever you need me.
Cool. Look after yourself, though. Yeah, look after that back.
Absolutely, will do. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Say goodbye, Obrel. Oh, no.
Bye, Abra.
So lame.
One day will be cool.
Bye.
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 Oh my God.
When the other two start to turn away, I'm going to pause for a second and say, just one thing. I understand the desire to run. Just make sure that when you're running to something and not away. Because nothing happens anywhere you go that isn't going to be the same thing that happened where you came from. People are the same everywhere.
I've lived on this island for too many years to not know that There is risk in every corner. And at first, I regretted our choice to come over here, and when we were joined, I was bitter. But on reflection, I realized that maybe it's not such a bad thing. Perhaps we've started something, and we definitely do not regret our choice in joining you. And I know that my wife wouldn't have regretted it either.
I'm glad you feel that way. And she kind of does a goodbye bow, sort of nod thing.
Oh my god, she's so lame. Shut up, kid!
I really do want
respect. The dwarf was a king, for God's sake!
Is prestidigitation the one that makes little noises? Hold on, let me just look.
I'm not specific. I think thaumaturgy and prestidigitation should just largely be able to small things. It's I
just really want to prestidigitation a little fart noise from his direction, like a really gross sounding one.
From the kid.
Yeah, just to embarrass him. Take him down a peg.
Sure, well, fine, yeah. Do you want to give an example of what that noise would sound like?
No, it's fine. I'm sure you can all
Are
imagine
you sure?
whatever, to your heart's desire.
I'll give an inspiration point to whoever comes up with the grossest fart noise.
It sounds exactly like the grapefruit.
Darn it.
Inspiration point to dogs.
Oh no.
Okay, so away you go. It's time for the court to be in session.
Did he say what his wife's name was?
Who?
The guy, the woodcutter.
Oh, Ostia. It is. Where have I written that?
If he didn't say, we wouldn't know. Then I don't think.
No, we would know it from before.
He introduced himself as Ostia. He didn't say his surname.
But we know who fell in the defense of geese, so we would be able to figure it out. We should name it after her, maybe.
Or it could just be called geese because it's part of geese.
What'd you say?
It could just be called geese because they want to stay part of geese. Or not. I have no strong.
Court.
To court! Name of wife was murdered by Daerd.
Oh my gosh. It's almost as if... No.
So much justice is about to happen.
So much justice. Justice reigns from above.
Oh my god, was that an Overwatch reference? Dude,
yeah, I hear that coming from Anne's room all the time.
Nice.
Okay. So, surprisingly, when you arrive at the temple, Daerd is already there. He sat in one of the pews. He looks like he's done something. Maybe he's trying to look a little bit smarter. And all three of the dwarves are also there.
Excellent.
Varkis has also attended.
I assumed as much.
Excellent. So before we go in, because they're all going to be looking forward, right? So
Yep.
they haven't necessarily noticed that we've come in at the back. Then Dana's going to make sure he comes in with his kingly robes on and his crown.
Ooh.
Court's in session, motherfuckers.
Yeah. And then he
King Dane's arrived.
Strides in like a pimp.
Like a pimp.
Who does do that?
Strides in like a pimp.
Heidi, Heidi, Heidi ho. That was to Elk Lord who said Heidi ho. Hi, Elk.
Hi. Howdy, 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 hi.
I love ruining your mom jokes, but I'm not going to put you all through that on stream.
Right. Okay. So, Dane has waltzed into the room looking like a motherfucking pimp.
Yeah,
King Dane in the house.
I'm just gonna walk up, like slowly walk to the front where the altar is and stand in front of it, and then without saying anything, I'm just gonna cast Zone of Truth, like in the area, like just in front of me.
Okay.
And before he walked out with us, I prestidigitation his crown to look extra bright and shiny.
Bitchin'.
Delicious.
Delicious. How long does it take to cast Zone of Truth?
It's an action.
Zone of Truth is an action?
Yep.
And it lasts for how long?
It lasts for 10 minutes.
Damn. Is it also a ritual spell? That's
No.
still a D&D 5th edition thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not according to the auto one that's in Roll20. It's not.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, 10 minutes of honesty is in front of you.
Thank you all for answering my summons. I am deeply disappointed that I've had to do this. I thought we could perhaps get along better given the current circumstances. Now, I've brought you here for an alleged crime against Johnny the Dwarf, who has had his beard cut while he has been asleep. I wish to get to the bottom of this matter quickly as possible, so I have arranged this summons. We are in front of the grace of the mighty Lathander, and I ask you to step into the zone of truth and accept its truthiness.
Varka speaks up. Dane? Sir King Dane, I apologize,
Yes.
Your Majesty. Might I inquire, not that I have a problem with this, you are a king, I have no place to say otherwise. Why is Dante here?
He is the alleged beard cutter, but we will very quickly get to the bottom of that.
I see. Well, that'll do it. That'll be it. And Dante kind of looks up. I'm the beard cutter. That's outrageous.
Alleged beard cutter.
Aye, well, we'll get to the bottom of this, won't we?
Yes, we will. And that's why we are here. Thank you very much for coming at short notice.
So you've cast your zone of truth, is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll stand in it. And he stands up and walks straight into it. There's a wisdom saving throw, am I right?
There is, but you can choose
unless they choose not to take it. He chooses not to take it.
Okay. Dan dear.
Oh.
Did you cut Johnny's beard, or do you know of who cut Johnny's beard?
I did not cut his beard.
Shit, I knew this was going to happen. Thank you, Dante. I am sorry we wasted your time.
He didn't answer the second half of the question.
But I do need you to answer all of my questions.
I apologize. I did not cut his beard, and I do not know who cut his beard.
Okay, thank you. But
Can I leave?
Were you in the mess hall?
Last night I was, aye.
And was there an altercation between you and these dwarves?
Aye, there was.
Would you say it was a heated altercation?
Aye.
Okay. Call Johnny up and the other dwarves.
Okay. Johnny comes on up.
Do you know who cut Johnny's beard?
Is that Johnny standing his beard?
Yeah, I'll call all three of them up at the same time.
So you've got three other dwarves here, okay? You've got Johnny, you've got Thuron, and Daerd. Daerd is the dwarf who was doing all the talking.
Okay. And I call Daerd up first then.
Okay. King Daerd.
So I'm going to ask you the same questions. Were you in the mess hall last night?
Aye.
And would you say there was an altercation between you and Dantia?
Not between me and Dantia, no. I mean, he's a prick, but I didn't say anything.
Please.
I'm in a zone of truth. Your Majesty, yes, I've got to say what I believe.
But
he's a bastard.
You can choose to not say things.
Aye, but you're my king. I'll say anything in front of you. I trust you.
Do you know who cut Johnny's beard?
Well, I thought I was down here.
But you have no reason other than your
Well, they fought. And then right after they fought, he has his beard cut. I thought that would be it. Is there any way around this magic circle thingy?
There is not without my knowing.
Oh, aye. Well, it wasn't me.
So I'm going to call Johnny up, I guess, then.
Yep.
And
Johnny strolls on in there.
essentially going to ask him the same questions, like, well, you're in the mess hall.
I was in the mess hall. There was a fight. I fought that Dante bastard. Yeah. He cut my beard, I believe it.
He does not. I am sorry to tell you that he did not cut your beard.
All right, King
He has stood within this circle. He has come here with you lot, acting very disrespectfully. He has acted quite respectfully.
All right, King Dane.
Thank you, Johnny. Do you know who cut your beard?
I don't know how to cut my beard. I thought it was Dante.
Okay. But that means we have a...
I'm sorry, Dante. I thought it was you.
Right. Thank you for that apology, Johnny. Now, what I'm going to need, though, is when you all guys are in the mess hall, I'm going to need you to know to be more civil with each other. Don't need you to be best friends, but I need you to not be fighting each other.
King Dane, everyone has fights in mess halls. I fought everyone here. Maybe not the fancy fella.
So then why immediately suspect?
Because, the druggers don't like us. He's new. He shows up, someone's beard gets cut. I thought it was him.
Yes.
And I said some things I'm not proud of. I thought that maybe he took them to heart.
When he apologized, did he apologize towards Dane or towards Dante?
Towards Dane.
Okay, so I'm gonna go now. Before we leave, I'm gonna need you to apologize to Dante for this inconvenience of him being accused of quite a serious crime. I think we can all admit.
I think we can all admit that. Dante, he looks directly at him. I'm led to believe that it wasn't you that cut my beard. For the accusation, I apologize.
Dane's getting ready to cut him off before he goes into something else.
He just leaves it there.
Unfortunately, this does mean that we have someone amongst us who would cut the beard of a dwarf who is passed out on the table.
I'm led to believe, and I apologize for the accusation.
Yes. It's probably the most you're going to get out of a stubborn dwarf.
Yeah. I think that is quite a good play, to be fair.
So I'm going to ask them both to sit down, all three of them sit down, and ask the last dwarf up, just while the zone of truth is here.
They're on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd be like, do you know who cut Johnny's beard?
He has succeeded on his wisdom saving throw.
But I know that.
Yes.
Right. I need you to submit to the zone of truth.
I have.
You have not. Do not lie to me.
I've submitted to your zone of truth.
You have not. I know you have not. You cannot get this past me.
All right. Then he stands out and he comes back in and he doesn't take the wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked the other dwarves. Do you know who cut Johnny's beard?
I'd rather not say.
But you know.
I do know. Aye.
And you're withholding that information from me, your king.
I'd rather not tell you who did it.
Would you be able to tell me if there weren't other people in the room?
Possibly.
And like motion for everyone to leave.
Okay. Did the party stay?
Nope.
Everyone leaves. Okay.
This is dwarf business.
Okay. It's just you and the dwarf.
I'm leaving, but I'm literally like, as soon as the door closes,
Yeah.
I'm like cupped to the
We all are.
like Susan is up here and I'm
Dana's completely expecting you to be doing that. It's just a show for the dwarf here. Now, it sounds like you have some things that you need to tell me.
King Dane, I don't know for sure, but I think it might have been me.
It might have been you.
You see, I'd had a lot to drink. And Johnny and I, before we were cast out,
Mm-hmm.
our families had a lot of disagreements. Largely, I don't know if you'd maybe noticed, but Johnny is of an older generation of dwarves. He's not the kind of dwarf that you might want to bring into a clan of new dwarves expecting to maybe change the old ways. Thought that maybe if I'd dishonored him some way, he'd be cast out. And our new family would be a safer place without him as part of it. I'm sorry, King Dane.
This is...
I will say for so, though, I was very drunk and I don't know if I did it. I think I did.
But you think it's something you'd be capable of? And you have reason
Well, I mean,
to have done it?
drunk Thoron, maybe.
Do you have a knife when you're around? Do you carry a knife around?
Not when I woke up.
But would you normally carry a sharp blade or
Well,
cutting implement? Do you have the tools to do it?
everyone's got the tools to cut a beard.
Yes, but most of us would not go
King
through
Dane, I'm telling you, I think
actually doing so.
It might have been me.
And I appreciate your honesty, even though it might not have been completely forthcoming.
Well, I'd rather not have said in front of the guys.
I understand. However, this cannot go unpunished.
Aye, well, you're the king. I did it for you.
I did not want you to do that for me.
Aye, well.
We are an open and welcoming family of dwarves.
Well, he's not open and welcoming.
By
He was so racist towards Daerd. That's exactly why I did it. I thought that maybe I could use the opportunity to show just how bad he is. He assumed that it was Daerd because of his race.
did. We've all made mistakes here.
Everyone assumed, but he's the worst. And I tried to make it clear that he's not good for our family.
But you also did not take the time to come and tell me this. Instead, you waited until I had summoned him and you and Johnny and Barkus.
I did.
And even then, I had to ask them all to leave the room so that you could tell me.
I was embarrassed.
Right.
The thing is, I think I did it. I've definitely been thinking about him as a problem. And I thought about maybe some way to get him out. I didn't want to kill him or anything, I'm not that bad.
Okay.
I think it was me. I thought I'd rather tell you. I could have easily told you that it wasn't me. We're in a zone of truth. And I could have said, I do not know. Because I don't know for sure.
Okay. Thank you. I'll have to deliberate on this.
I understand.
Right, you're dismissed.
To the fire zone.
No punishment, no crime is worth it.
You are now banished to the geese burbs.
Every time somebody says zone, I just keep hearing danger zone in my mind.
So how's King Dane's deliberation going?
Oh no, like he means like not today.
Oh,
like he's gonna let him, like he's gonna let whatever his name is. I've forgotten the name of all my dwarves.
Thuron.
He's gonna let Thuron kind of like stew for a little bit. Plus, he doesn't really know what to do because he's not like he doesn't know what like an appropriate response would be. Like, should he be exiled for a while? Like, he doesn't know how to deal with his punishment, like to deal punishment to people. So,
well, it's difficult, especially because you can't really use dwarven rule because the whole idea is that you're creating this new clan that's not using the old rules. So
yeah, he doesn't really know what to do yet. And it's gonna like probably ask.
Then perhaps now is a good time to say the session is ending.
They might ask in the RP channel about what the fuck to do.
Sorry?
You might ask in the RP channel about what the fuck to do.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe you have your team, your crack team of specialists deliberate with you.
Yes, Hyacinth is definitely in the correct frame of mind to be like, how do I work on?
Well, it turns out that it wasn't Dante, so no premeditated justice for him.
I wasn't gonna. Okay, everybody's like, Hyacinth's gone off the deep end. She's gonna start killing people in the temple. She's gonna cut someone's beard. She understands that it's important to dwarves, but it's not that she feels like, oh no, that's the worst thing. She's kind of more worried about the like slavery or whatever it is that's going on, Premeditated self-defense justice. Crack team of snoopers.
Okay. Well, what are your initial thoughts, team?
What could I hear through the door?
All of that.
Ah, perfect. I mean, we don't know who did it. So we still have somebody who's willing to, like, jeopardize the feeling of safety that we have here, and that's a problem.
Susan?
I mean, she's pretty out of her depth with this. I mean, he didn't admit to doing it, he doesn't for sure know he did it, but, is the best we have, I guess. But is it worth punishment when we have more important things to do, like demons falling from the sky? Then
demons falling from the sky?
Always.
10 years of community service.
Yeah. Make him go and help the people build the houses. There you go.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Are there any other suggestions from those in town? What do you think? Bearing in mind, right? So
I love the idea that the chat is the town.
That's so cute. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are the town. Yeah, you guys are the town.
I want you
guys
all to come
are-
up with professions. Tell me what you do.
Everyone's a mason.
If you guys want to be, if you guys want to get involved and be peasants in our town, feel free.
There should be another RP channel for this. I'm so excited.
If you guys want to be involved, if you want to be peasants, then
Okay.
make sure to join the Discord.
Should I make another Discord channel?
Well, they can talk in the D&D shit, right?
Yeah, they can talk in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to come and be a no taxation. No. Okay. All right. All
The
right.
Americans have arrived.
All right. The Americans arrived.
Throw his feet into the ocean.
I mean, if you're in chat now, what if we revolt?
Oh.
Well, you're already revolting, so
Oh, just got called gross by a king.
that makes it true. I'm in a zone of truth.
If you've got any ideas, feel free to say what you think should be done for Thuron, the guy who we think 99% sure cut this guy's beard. Bearing in mind, so the idea, if you're not familiar with our king here, is that he has been elected in some ways to be the king of a new clan.
Well, I did vote for him. Sorry.
A new
Also not my
clan.
clan.
A new clan of dwarves who are largely people who have been outcast from their own dwarven clans. So he is the king of outcasts, essentially. And his kingdom at the moment is, well, he's in exile to a certain degree. The closest that he has to a kingdom at the moment is the shared ownership that each of our players have over geese, which is the name for their settlement. It's mixed population of you guys, if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you nerds turned on my Alexa. Excellent. Alexa,
Play
hardcore
Baby Shark.
porn. Baby Shark. Play Baby Shark. Just in case. Siri, play Baby Shark.
It's Hey Siri.
Oh shit. Hey Siri.
My phone turned on.
Plays Despacito. I muted her. Damn it.
What's the other
Damn
one?
it. AKA King of Australia. I love that. We've
Food
got
recipes.
Alexa, Siri, and okay, Google.
Okay, Google.
My Alexa found recipes for hardcore corn.
Hardcore corn.
I love it. Oh my god, that's so good. Someone was allowed exhaust outside. Okay, well, what we'll do is, unless anyone has any thoughts, so we're saying Susan's a bit out of her depth.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't feel like extreme punishment needs to be dealt. Maybe just helping out around maybe would be a good thing, but I don't know. I don't feel like
Okay,
it's...
something to consider. Okay, is that Dane, you are now essentially setting the precedent for beard cutting in your community, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have to decide: are beards important to your kind of dwarves?
You need to come up with some
You know?
rules.
Gotta come up with some rules for your beardly dwarves.
You need a scroll for next time we play D&D that you like unravel with all your rules on.
All the laws of your new kingdom. But also, how are your dwarf subjects? How are your dwarf subjects going to respond to your ruling? You know.
Yep, I know. This is great.
Make candy beards.
Get those
Eye for
beard
an eye,
extensions
beard
back.
for a beard. Beard extensions.
That we...
I did think, like, immediately I was like, do I have beard extensions in my bag? And I was like, no, I don't have any beard extensions in my
You
bag.
can admit to
We
them
did, didn't we?
in your bag.
Didn't we get beard extensions from
Some
something?
people might.
You got beard extensions and you kept them. I think
Yeah.
Susan kept them.
Yeah, I didn't keep them.
I think Susan kept them.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
did, didn't I? Because I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
He
You weren't
was
wrong.
quite opposed to the concept of beard extensions.
I could take a 15th level bard to wherever they want to go.
Ooh.
No, I said just to quote.
Well, let's just for a second. I've read what you said. Let's just for a second. If you guys are going to take on the roles of peasants in our little settlement, no one try and seduce the main characters.
No, seduce me.
If you're going to ERP, take it elsewhere. All right?
I think he meant like somebody who drove a car. Tell
Yeah, sure.
That's what they all say.
That's definitely what he meant.
Because I said, just to quote Thoughts of Insurrection, Hyacinth's on the warpath and you're all commoners. And so it's kind of like, I could take a 50th level bard anywhere they'd like to go. You're the one, Mr. Horse Erotica, who has to turn everything into. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you guys asked what that guy was reading earlier, and you all assumed it was porn.
Time. Puts away lipstick. Oh, okay. Can we seduce each other?
Seduce Daerd, impossible. His only love is Jeremy.
And Jeremiah and Jebediah.
I think he's already established the rules for. Never mind.
Yeah, what's the law about bestiality?
Have you guys all seen that? That it's like a spoof somebody did on a bunch of Disney songs, and it was like, what happened after the story ended, and the Beauty and the Beast was, like afterwards they're all like putting her up on charges of bestiality.
Yeah.
Bestiality. It was really funny.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song.
Stable Boy starts sweating profusely. Jesus Christ. Right, well, on that note, I think we can all safely say that we have... Oh.
Hey guys, do you want to see my danger noodle?
Did you
Yes.
draw one?
Yes.
Yeah, not a sexy cropped, but
Oh my god, that's so fucking adorable. Look at his little noodly face.
Oh, totally.
Oh my god, that's so fucking cute.
So much danger.
so much danger, so much noodle.
That is amazing.
Okay,
Dangerously cute.
Round of applause. Dangerously cute.
thank you.
Brilliant.
You have a new gift for like.
All of us are running. Fantastic. Such danger. Why is that cuter than everything ever?
Everything Jenny makes is cuter than everything else.
Oh,
Yeah. It
thanks.
just gets more powerful. That's just how it goes. Every cute thing she makes just like she just gets more cute every time. She's dangerous.
Exponential cuteness.
She's the real danger noodle.
I think.
Shit, I've been outed. I am the danger noodle.
I'm the real danger.
Bow to me.
Plot twist.
Okay, right. Is it safe now
Yes.
to end the stream? Okay, fantastic. Hope you all. Where's Jenny? Jenny's down there. Hey, Jenny. Yeah, is it safe?
I
I don't know which way that I.
I have no idea which way Johnny is. I think that way.
I'm just right
Wait,
next to you. I'm
no.
like I'm
Down here.
Hold up for
It's
so long to
confusing
find
with
out
the-
if it was wrong.
Ka-ching!
time to go. Bye.
Bye. Mwah, mwah.